Welcome everyone to another late cast live stream. Oh God. Real quick. Welcome everyone to another late cast live stream.
Oh, it's over here.
How's it going, everybody? Oh God.
How's it going, everybody?
How we doing? Is everyone even here? Delay? Oh, that's me. Is anybody in the chat? Or is the chat delayed? Oh, there we go. Okay, we're here. Welcome to the...
Audio is fucked up?
No way.
Probably from, I guess, maybe when it, like, looped on itself.
Delayed? Oh, there we go. Okay, we're here. Welcome to the...
Audio is fucked...
No, we're fine.
Okay.
We are fine.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone, to the 5th anniversary live stream of BOLDcast on April 7th, 2020, 2 days ago and 2 days and 5 years ago from today, we created the BOLDcast empire, and now we are celebrating the 5th anniversary of that.
Yeah, turn him to the
And if anybody remembers the first anniversary live stream, he's fucking spinning around in a weird way. You'll remember Big Wilf.
Classic.
We still have him. This is the same balloon.
We went and we got him re-blown up.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so we're back. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Frankie. Congrats on 5 years. What up, Crouton King? What up, Frankie? What up, Shane Masters? Thing. What up, Likespire? What up, I think Meme was here. Lespring, Chloe, Mac is here. Kai is here. Asha is here. Assha is here, I mean to say. ESK is here. I'm excited for live stream. Huge fan of the channel. Did you put a delay on the thing?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, you fucked up then. It should have been the same, but... Killer Queen. I guess this time, no guests. I need to do that real quick. One sec. One moment. But yeah, today we are going to be ranking all of our reactions that we've done over the last 5 years. Not every video, obviously, but every series that we've done. And we won't be ranking live streams, because those are in a class of their own, obviously. But I
Cuphead stream clearly
clears everything we've ever done.
Yeah.
I think it's an edit. One moment, I just need to switch some up here. Let's just change. Let's change that. Boom. Okay. There we go. No bots.
Get out of here if you're unsubscribed.
No bots will be messing with us this time. Okay. Well, thank you guys for... are you guys ranking the reactions themselves or the shows? We were ranking our reactions to them.
Yeah.
So if you're just coming here from One Piece or whatever, or you haven't watched a whole lot of us, you can get an idea of what
you should even bother looking at.
Yeah, and what you definitely shouldn't. Because, there's like 2,500 videos that we posted, and...
yeah, 93 different series, but that includes...
Which seems a little low.
Well,
but...
some of them we only watched like a couple episodes of, and I did count for some shows when I was dividing them up. Like some things like Naruto, I just did one for part 1 and then one for Shippuden, and then for some things I did like all 3 seasons, especially, or like multiple seasons, especially if for something like Blue Lock, where like the range between our reaction for season 1 and season 2 was like vastly different, so they'll probably end up in different things. Oh,
did you not delete a bunch once? Yes, we did. In fact, we privated all of our Boruto reactions. So, I don't know why you printed that out. We could do that first, I guess. It's fitting.
Yeah.
Sure. I actually, as far as ranking our reactions to, I don't even know if you guys can see. Lindsay printed out all the thumbnails. I can't see on the oh, I need to bring up the preview.
Put it back.
Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it. Lindsay printed out all the thumbnails, like the first thumbnail to each playlist. I don't know where to put this, because I feel like it's one of those things where, and I think we're going to run into this all the time, where because of the way that we are with the reactions, we're not big personalities like that, so it's kind of the story of our whole channel, just fitting for the 5th anniversary, but like, I feel like what we had to say a lot of times was interesting. But
if you were willing to listen.
If you're willing to listen, but does that make it a good reaction? Like, I don't think it does, you know? So I think we're going to end up with, it depends on, I guess, our rubric for how we're ranking these. But I don't think this belongs in F. I think the show's pretty bad, but like...
And honestly, like, I feel like for Boruto, I feel like we have had worse reactions. Our outlook on Boruto, like, we were very lenient on Boruto.
Yeah, we gave it a lot of leeway.
For the quality of what it was, we knew what it was gonna be. We didn't necessarily, just lie and say that we loved it, but we didn't criticize every single thing, every single episode. We sort of...
Most of the time, we were still in that thing where we were still kind of doing that.
We were doing that, but
we cooled down a lot from Naruto.
We weren't being like we were trying to be like, okay, this is not going to be as good as Naruto.
But baseball tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll give it a fair review, but we're not just going to be total haters on it, you know?
Woo! What up, Dark Shadow? Thank you for the $20. 5 years. Indeed. Thank you so much. Much love, Dark Shadow. So I don't know. I think either E or D.
Maybe E.
Yeah, don't stick these too hard. I'm realizing, because if we decide, we might need to shift them around.
Yeah, I can always get more tape too.
But yeah, so maybe we'll put it in E, high E for now. But like, I feel like when there was a good episode or when there's something good happening, like we were emotional about things that were emotional. And I feel like we had decent discussion. I would probably put it in D, actually.
Really?
I probably put it high D. I think, and it's like, some of it's us, some of it's the show. Like, for example, this is something I was thinking about it when I was getting my mind going about doing these. It's like, and we can do this next. Let's do one right after, and because it leads into it. Hell's Paradise. Our reactions to Hell's Paradise, very tumultuous thing that we dropped. And it's one of those things that, like, I don't think we were in the right headspace to enjoy it. Because if we're talking about quality, One Piece's anime is most of the time pretty ass if you're comparing it to, like, as far as a production. To, like, story-wise, is obviously miles better than Hell's Paradise. But, like, if you're talking about sitting down every week enjoying an action show, it's like Hell's Paradise really isn't that bad of a show.
Yeah.
It's just that our standard, we watched it before we started One Piece, I think.
We did. We also watched it before.
And so like there was a big standard shift, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. But yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So I don't know.
You guys watched Hell's Paradise? We did. We didn't make it very far. We actually loved the first episode. We loved the first episode.
First episode wasn't a banger.
We were like super hyped up. We were like, oh, this is gonna be, like action, but it's gonna be a little bit different. We thought like, oh, we were very hopeful.
Everyone's like, oh, the dark trio of like Demon Slayer, or Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu, and Hell's Paradise. But Hell's Paradise, and here's the thing. I think our discussions and our review of why it was bad, or it like making fun of it, I think that like these reactions are better than Boruto reactions. Because, like, the show, I think, is okay. It's just okay. And I feel like 86 was a similar kind of issue. I think
maybe if we watched this now, it would be a little bit more like Solo Leveling or Blue Lock, where we can just be like, okay, this is not going to be our favorite show of all time, but we can have fun with it. But we were still, at this point, kind of, like, trying to have fun with it, but also...
But, again, it's one of those things where, like, oh, what up, Lemillion? It's one of those things where, oh, what up, Bob Mike Joe? Was a nice read, at least. I feel like it would probably be, like, I think the art was really cool looking. Anyway. It's one of those things where who determines whether it's a good reaction? It's like, whether they're good videos? That's how kind of I'm thinking of it. It's like, are they good videos? It's like, first of all, none of our videos are good videos. Second of all, the point is, if we didn't, just because we didn't like something doesn't mean we're making a bad video.
Mm-hmm.
But if we really like something, it's gonna make it a way better video.
Yeah.
And I think this is in those weird fringe cases where the show was just okay, we weren't super stoked on it, but we had good discussions and made fun of it, and I think had some funny things about why we didn't like it. So I kind of, I feel like I'd put it above Boruto. I'd probably put it in a C.
Yeah.
I'd probably put it in a C, because I feel like
it might end up
the discussions
being a
ended
little
up being
bit of a lower
decent.
C.
I'd probably put Hell's Paradise in like E tier. It's also hard to say because we dropped it. So,
but
we'll put it in D. We'll put it in D.
Okay.
We'll put it in D. We'll put it in D for now. But I think it could go lower. It could go slightly higher to C because again, I think that the review of it and the discussion of like the whole discussion around, and we found this out from the comments that the reason that everything that the story felt so desperate, just really quick. I know we're not talking about the show really, but like we talked about this, and this was I think an interesting conversation. Is the story felt really desperate every time to like constantly be having something big, a big moment, big action. Like some big something happening. And then everything else, all the connective tissue was just so weak. It was just them like sitting in basically a boardroom disguised as a jungle. And, they didn't, there's a lot of shit, like problems with it. I feel like discussing all of those problems was actually really interesting, especially in the context of a show that everyone was really hyped about. And, it had ups and downs. It would be kind of interesting. I don't know. Anyway.
Carson's hair at the time makes
What up, Keyblade?
C tier.
What up, Black Snow? Oh, wow. A bunch of classics in here. Christopher Scott. Bunch of classic people. Ritviz. Did you change your name, Ritviz? Who are you? Am I just... Has it been so long since we streamed that I'm starting to get dementia? Brachthier! Sorry. Okay, what's next?
A classic.
Gleipnir.
A true BOLDcast classic.
Absolute BOLDcast throwback banger.
Honestly...
I really shouldn't have set up the other camera just like a Jimmy Fallon close up of like, oh, let's get a look at this, and then it's just like a zoom in right here. Should have done that anyway.
Honestly,
Gleipnir.
Rough show, great show to start out our channel with because
NJ says I have no idea what this is.
No doubt, if you weren't watching our channel and also weren't watching seasonal anime during, 2020?
Yeah.
You will have no idea what this show is. Unless you know the OP. The OP for this, unironically, one of the best OPs of all time. It is so good. The song is so good. The visuals are so good. The show itself, I remember we watched the trailer, this was when we were first starting out, and we were picking what seasonals we were going to be watching, and we see the trailer for the show, and we're like, oh my god.
It seems kind of interesting.
It
was ranked highly, in the popularity.
Yeah, it was excited. People were excited about it. We were like, oh, this looks really cool. It's like, she learns his secret, and then, controls him.
Yeah, and they're, the shot
so
while
cool.
they were saying that were them walking past each other in the school hallway, so it's this weird political,
it's
almost like Classroom
him.
of the Elite, vibe, but, more hardcore. Yeah. But really what it is he gets cursed or some shit. I can't even remember honestly how he gets it.
Was it a vending machine?
Yeah, I forget. There's the coins with the vending machine, that whole weird thing, and the aliens or something, all that kind of stuff. It was weird as shit. It was unique, but it was weird as shit. There were a lot of fun and interesting things about it, but it just lost itself at some point. Then they went. It was really interesting where they went further than the manga, because the manga was airing. At the end of the first arc. They went further than the manga and foreshadowed shit that wasn't in the manga. Yeah, that was actually kind of interesting. Yeah, part of that. But
it was also. It would have
Classroom
been really
Elite
good.
is not in the pile because we just watched half of episode 1 and then gave up.
I will say also just the excessive fan service. Did take a toll on this. At first it was kind of just okay, this is kind of crazy, but whatever.
It was
then
also
it just got annoying.
You were more sensitive to it because you were a newer anime fan. Sorry, kick the table there. But yeah, I mean we're still pretty sensitive to it compared to the vast majority. But even then, especially you were more. Sensitive.
Well, yeah, and it also just felt like it was just impeding the story, especially later on.
What do you? It's also been so long since we watched it that I honestly can't remember if we. I feel like our reactions to it were probably pretty decent.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it was at least a C, maybe low B. Because here's the thing, at the time, we'll get into Naruto soon, but like I feel like with shows that we were watching around this time, I remember this show fondly. I remember having fun with this show. I think because it wasn't that serious, I think with Naruto, there was a lot of pressure for me to really like it or like get hyped up about it, you know?
Yeah.
But like with Gleipnir, I feel like it was like
no expectations.
It caught us off guard. There was no expectations. We didn't know what it was about. We were both just like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" Mm-hmm. So I feel like we were a little bit more genuine, maybe.
Yeah.
Like just a little bit more relaxed in a way.
You especially, yeah.
So
I feel like I was kind of the same across the board. I feel like at that time I was so frantic about like, especially for the first couple years, I was like really frantic about justifying a reaction video because it felt kind of dirty in a way. Like I was like, you know, if I'm gonna use this show to make my content, I need to like really justify the review, like not only try to have a good reaction or like really pick up on things, but like completely scorch earth any thoughts I have whatsoever need to be on the table, and I was still new about like saying that, and you weren't as good at like being a co-pilot there or like, you know, like bouncing off each other as much. So I often felt like I would just monologue for fucking 20 minutes. So is that good or is that bad? I'd say it's enthusiastic, and I think I had some good insights on these early reactions, but like, you know,
and like I feel like I don't know,
the reactions weren't bad. I'll leave it up to you because it was more your gem, but I think yeah, C or B. It's definitely better than those two.
I feel like we'll put it at C right now, but we may change it later, because we don't have anything up there, so it's hard to like have a scale, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like we may need to let's take this.
Ooh, Run with the Wind.
Easily, potentially our like very close to our best, like within like top 5 of our reactions, I think. Like
yeah, within top 5 for sure.
Within the top 5, like
I think especially for you, I put my enjoyment at like an A. For me, it's a 9 out of 10 show. It's not quite a 10. But like, yeah.
In terms of our reactions, I think because we came off of Haikyuu.
We were on a big high.
We were really excited.
And we really needed
this
that
was
show.
Like this was very similar to Haikyuu, but they were in college. They were adults.
Yeah.
It was very inspiring. You started running because of the show. It was brief.
Very brief.
But the show itself was very inspiring, very heartwarming, very relatable, I think, to a lot of different people.
This is Run with the Wind.
Run with the Wind. If you guys haven't seen it, especially if you like Haikyuu and you haven't seen it.
I really should have set up that other camera.
It's okay. Yeah. So, such a good show, and I feel like this would be an S-class reaction.
I could put it there. For me, it'd be low S. Like, but that's my enjoyment. I'd say, like, the videos overall.
I think the videos, as far as, like, a genuine, good honest reaction with good discussions.
Yeah, I'd say S is fair. Like, to me, the show is, like, a 10 out of 10. For you, it's a little bit less. But I think, like, it was a show that we were able to fully enjoy with very little criticism, yet still give, like, in-depth discussions and reviews a lot of the time. Yeah, so that's Run with the Wind. It's like Lindsay said, it's made by the people who made Haikyuu. And it's about a bunch of college students forming a running club and then attempting a super crazy marathon with each other. And it's not just a marathon. It's like
a relay
marathon. Like there's like 10 members, and they have to, or 10 or 8 members, or I think it's 10, and they have to
like they each run a leg of this thing, and they each have their own strengths and weaknesses, and like the end, like the emotional payoff of that show is like almost unmatched. It was so good.
What a Beast of Burden. What Christian Montgomery. Somebody was asking earlier about Fan Letter. This isn't the One Piece channel, but Fan Letter, we watched it yesterday, and holy moly, it was so fucking good. And it will be going on Patreon tonight at midnight Pacific, or like early tomorrow morning for the rest of the world. It'll be on Patreon. Check it out there, and get hype, and then it'll be on YouTube like soon. We watched it after episode 522. Okay, back to the stream. What next?
You can pick one.
Oh, Oshi no Ko.
Mm-hmm.
Oshi no Ko. So yeah, this I'd say off the bat, if I were just to throw a ranking out there, I'd say A. This is did you do a separate for season 2?
Yes, I did do a separate for
season 2. Then I'd definitely say A, if not S.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we had good discussions for it. I think that a lot of people had good reactions for it. I don't think we had there's some shows in here that I'm pretty confident we have the in terms as good as a reaction series to something could be as far as like a quality video experience. I think that there's a good chance for one or two of these series that we have like potentially the best reactions as far as like a complete picture of like a review and a reaction. But this definitely isn't like I'm not confident we have like the best one.
No, I think that overall
I think we had a lot of good things to say.
Discussions. Yeah. I think that we were able to appreciate the sort of shift, the multiple shifts that the show took to be more of like a exploration of sort of the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that we got into that and liked it maybe more than other people, but obviously our reactions are not as hype.
Yeah.
And freaking out.
But like I don't know if anybody else, like I didn't watch a whole lot. I watched just some reactions like here and there for some episodes for other people. Holy shit. Dark Shadow with the 20 gifted.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. For the show, I think that like it was more uncommon than I thought for people to like discuss the whole production angle and like the entertainment industry, and I feel like that was an angle that we kind of like took, and I think we had probably more interesting insights than a lot of other people if I had to venture to guess, but I don't know, maybe there's a bunch of other people who did and I just didn't see those. But yeah, I feel like this is a solid A.
Yeah, I would say so.
Season 1. Season 2 might be a little bit lower, but yeah. In fact, do we have Season 2 here? Let's just put that down somewhere.
It should be around somewhere.
Here's the problem with this. It's all kind of random.
It should be pretty noticeable. Oh, here it is. With your bald head.
Yeah, my bald head. Yeah. Okay, so that's Season 2, Episode 1 thumbnail.
Yeah, good series to encapsulate what the A tier is.
True.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like it was really good. Our reactions were good. But not. I wouldn't classify it as like the best. You know?
I'd say this could be a similar. Like I'd say this is like a solid B. I think earlier on in the season I would put it as maybe an A, but maybe not. Maybe B.
I think that this is B. B is not bad. You know, as far as this goes, like B is still pretty close to the top. It had its ups, it had its downs. We we liked it. Moments of it were really good. Moments of it were like decent. So yeah, I would say honestly like that this is good. This is kind of filling out what like for you guys, and then also for us who didn't really discuss this prior. This is kind of giving a good indication of what encapsulates each tier. But also some things might be different, where some things maybe because it is based off our reaction, sometimes there might be like a show that is technically maybe better than like this or this that ends up being lower because we didn't react very good to it or something,
Yeah. Do an F tier, no balls. There will be some F tiers, but we just haven't got it's if there's reactions where, I mean, are there actually? Maybe we need to adjust our rankings a little bit more. Maybe like Boruto needs to go lower. But like we liked the show less. But then, again, the point is the videos. Yeah. Do we have an F tier?
I mean, if anything could be, even then I don't know F tier because you liked it and like. Some stuff was fun, if this may be
our worst, most drawn out. Oh, we got Horimiya though.
So yeah, you hated that. That's season 2 of Horimiya.
Oh, this is season 2. Yeah, season 2, easy F. easy F for because we dropped it. Lindsay liked it just fine, but I was so fucking bored by this. It also felt like just a slap in the face because every time we got any significant
No, continue on with that. But this is the real F tier.
Anything? Wait, guesses for what Lindsay just found. This series was mismanaged. It should have just been 2 cores, and you could have just fit everything in.
And it would have been great.
And then as soon as this season finishes, then there's Reddit posts of like, here's the watch order for fucking Horimiya. It's so dumb. It's like, why? Yeah. So, what up, Kazu? What up, Chad Benjamin? Oh, I think I said hi to you already. What up, everybody? Skull Knight.
Oh, and I love that picture of like the Sasuke meme because that's from Horimiya
season 1.
That is from that thumbnail. That picture is from Horimiya season 1.
Wherever
which
that is.
we'll probably find that later. But we actually did enjoy Horimiya season 1.
Yeah.
And
I felt like it was good. It was interesting. It was interesting.
It was.
But season 2, I'd say. I mean, we didn't finish it, and it's not like we didn't finish it because we like had a review of it. It's just we didn't finish it because I was just fucking bored by it. I was just like, it just wasn't interesting because the story was finished. So any discussion we could have had about like the development of their relationship was completely tainted by the nature of the show. So I'll put this high F.
Yeah.
Because it's a part of a good series. And
but
the lowest of the low.
The lowest of the low. I don't
bottom
think,
of the barrel worst
videos
videos we've
worse
made.
than this, because not only did our reaction suck to this, not only did we hate this, it was just objectively terrible, and no one liked it. And no one guessed what it was, but it is in fact Nobless. If anyone even remembers that show.
It was
if
the
anyone
third.
Even remembers.
It was the third Crunchyroll 2020 manhwa adaptation about a like vampire lord husbando. What show? So there was Tower of God, which is a manhwa. Then there was God of High School, and then there was Noblesse in 2020. They were all executive produced, I think, by Crunchyroll. They're sponsored by Crunchyroll to get the funding to make these shows to like explore an untapped market of source material that at the time. Now it's a little bit bigger and it's a little bit more diverse, but like this was the third of those shows in that stream, and it was fucking garbage. It was trash, and we tried, but like
we were excited because our thing is like with Tower of God, we were like not super into it, but everyone was super into it, and we were like trying to see the hype, and we tried really hard, but we didn't get it, and there was like the crazy moment at the end where we were like, okay, maybe this is kind of good, and then there was God of High School, which a lot of people didn't like. We'll get to it. We enjoyed it. We had a really good time with it. So then we were like, all right, Noblesse, and then we were like, nah, we're not doing Noblesse, in fact.
So that's, I mean, put it at the bottom. It's the worst series we've done.
Yeah.
For sure.
This is another one that could be low. This is JoJo Part 3.
I was very excited for this. I really wanted to like this. And I wanted Lindsay to like it because this series, specifically this part, I was kind of rocky on Part 1 and Part 2, but I loved Part 3 when I watched it. And it ups and downs, you know, it's not a banger all the way through, but like I'd seen it, right? So like I couldn't have that good of a reaction, so it was all on Lindsay, and it was just not her vibe.
It was just not my thing.
Until the last like 3 or 4 episodes, which I feel like that's most people. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're like kind of meh on it most of the time, you'll still like the last few episodes because they're so good. Part 3 is F. Yeah, I think Part 3, the reactions are F. But again, because of the few sprinkled in there that were fun,
yeah,
and because of the last, like the Jojo versus Dio fight, and a few things, you could go through this playlist and find not like no videos. Like that's the thing. Like if you go to the Noblesse playlist, you're gonna find dog shit. If you go to the Horimiya piece, if your eyes are only focused on Lindsay, like everyone's are, like mine are, then you'll find maybe something, but like mostly, both the videos are pretty bad, and we didn't finish it. If you go through this playlist, it's not in that case where you're gonna find nothing. Like you're gonna the start and the first few episodes are good. It wanes and then it gets worse and worse. And the problem with this, the story of why these reactions went bad was because we moved. Was it? Oh no, did we finish it when we were at our old place?
I think we finished it before. But either...
We did part 4 here.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was like... Yeah, sorry.
It was bad. Honestly, okay, what happened was I think part 1 was like... I didn't know what to think of it. It was kind of overwhelming in a lot of ways. It was really weird. Part 2, I really enjoyed... Like, as far... Like, I felt like I was getting into it in part 2.
We will watch part 5.
And then part 3 felt like just a slam on the brakes. I didn't like...
You really got into it part 2.
Yeah, I was really loving part 2. Part 2, I was having so much fun. So then when we get to part 3, it felt like, okay, we take away a character that I really loved and felt like brought a lot of excitement. We replace him with, like, this, like, stoic, like, more badass kind of guy that I'm just, and then the other guys are like, and then sometimes there's funny moments, but it's just...
And I feel like Joseph is too...
dragged out.
Joseph would have been, like, the anchor there, but Joseph is just too different, in my opinion. Like, old Joseph and young Joseph are just too different, and it's not just the voice actor. It's just, like, there's references to the previous Joseph early on, but, like, his whole journey doesn't seem to be referenced nearly as much, and, like, his desire to defeat Dio isn't, like, the mainstay, even though he defeated the Pillar Men. Like, writing-wise, there's a lot of problems, but, like, the point of Jojo is not all of that. It's very much in the vein of, like, One Piece, and it clearly, like, I think inspired One Piece. Like, if you think about the and Gomu Gomu no pistol, or whatever the fuck, all that kind of thing, like, where Luffy's just punching a million times. AOT in C tier, yeah, this is the problem with this. We were going to do it on the screen, but I thought, Lizzie thought this would be more fun. In C tier, that is Gleipnir. Gleipnir, I think.
Absolute classic.
But this one, to sum it up, I think your reactions to it weren't great all the time. In fact, most of the time, I feel like the videos were genuinely, like, bad. Some that's the thing. That's where it evens out. It's like, if you were to go in the playlist, you'd find some good videos. But some of the reactions to some of these episodes are the worst videos on our channel, other than, like, other than random OP reactions, or where like they got Naruto, muted, or early Naruto, where we got, like, our first strike on Tower of God, and then I freaked out and then started, like, removing all the audio to, like, all of our shit for a while, and we didn't post Demon Slayer Season 1. You know, like, there's a lot of problems in terms of that, like, if you're talking about that, but as far as the reactions and the videos themselves, if they were to be edited well, they would be better than some of the episodes in here. I think that, like, which, by the way, with Tower of God, did we even do that? Or
no, we haven't done it
We
yet.
will. Tower of God was our first strike ever, and I think it was just because we gave a bad review of the final episode.
We gave a good review. It was a good hour-long review, and we got a strike, and then we, like, freaked the fuck out, like, took everything down.
Anyway, I want to get to that. I want to get to that when we get to that. But here... one of our worst reactions may be, other than, you know, the ones we put there, some, like, in this playlist. But if you go to this playlist, you will find good videos. So for that reason, I think it's probably solid E.
Yeah, I think it's E, because
which is insane, because part 4, I think, is one of our best series.
Yeah.
Past a certain point. But also, part 4's reactions would have been a lot better if Lindsay had enjoyed part 3.
Exactly.
Because, like,
if we went straight from part 2 that I was, like, getting into, and then was, like, on that high and went into part 4, I think I would have had a lot more fun. But because I felt like I got the rug pulled out from under me with part 3, and then had to sit through fucking, like, actual bullshit at some point for, like, 3 episodes where they're like, oh, what's this? Like, I don't know, just, like, something that is so silly. And I can imagine, you know, maybe if you're watching it by yourself, like, before bed, on the couch, like, eating some chips. That's the thing is,
I talked about these a lot in the reactions. It's like, the reason I liked part 3 a lot was because me and Lindsay had been dating, and then we both graduated, and then I had to move back home, and we had, like, a summer apart. And I was working, like, a normal job, like working outside, and I would come home, and then I would watch JoJo, and it was, like, the healthiest lifestyle I've ever lived in my life, and it was, like, and then I started lifting weights for the first time, really, like, seriously on a schedule, and it was because I was inspired by like the guys in the show, and it was a very healthy, positive thing to return to at the end of a long work day, and then before going out and like longboarding or like doing other shit. And it was a very like healing experience because I was also like, you know, I was hanging out with Lindsay, and then I had like a little bit of a social life with Lindsay, and then I went home and I had like no social life again. But I was working and I was like being positive, and it wasn't like a self-improvement thing. It was just a good sunny time of my life, and I was watching JoJo. I watched part 3 and part 4 during that summer. So that's the experience where I think that you can enjoy something like JoJo, and I think it's partly also why, and it's an interesting disconnect with us being YouTubers, and our lifestyle is so different. You know, we don't work a normal job. We don't get that same kind of like release from these shows that other people do. So it kind of twists the perspective on the reaction. We talk about that a lot too in a lot of different series. But like, yeah, I love part 3, but like if I were to watch it for the first time pre-One Piece, that's the other thing is if we were to watch JoJo for the first time right now after watching One Piece and like kind of needing to let go of like being super critical in the way that we had been previously. If we were to watch it for the first time now, those reactions would be so good.
Yeah.
But there was a point during part 4, because of Lindsay didn't like part 3, you had gotten into a like rhythm of watching JoJo and being like you weren't even thinking about it. It's like, oh, we gotta watch JoJo, and I'm like, part 4. I was like so excited for part 4 because we took a break, and then I'm like, you're gonna love part 4. I know you'll love part 4. Yeah, let's do part 4 now. Part 4 of JoJo. I love this. This is one of my favorite anime ever, if you're just counting part 4. So good. I love it. I loved it when I first saw it. It was like, you know, I watched it before the channel and everything, but it was like one of the shows after I had taken a break from anime when I was going to university. I came back to it during that summer, and it was like a very healing, good thing. So it was a very positive show for me as well, like I said, with how part 3 was, but even better because the writing in part 4 is so much better. I think, but the first little bit of part 4, there's a similar thing where I'd seen the show and I loved the show. Lindsay hadn't, so the reaction's kind of on her. Mm-hmm. And then we're doing the reactions, and Lindsay has this sour taste in her mouth that carried into part 4 because you had this association. Mm-hmm. So, but once we got into it, we had like a full-on conversation where I was like, you are, like, I basically had to tell Lindsay, I was like, you're being dumb because you like you're not even thinking about it. Like you're going into everything so negative without even being conscious of it because of this experience that you have with part 3. If you get rid of that, like you'll like it. And then she did, and then like after we had that talk, you were more mindful of it. And then over the next few episodes, you did.
Looking back on it, I really like part 4, and I don't. But when I think about part 3, I get like a feeling of frustration inside of me because that's just the vibe that I had with the show. But when I think of part 4, I think of it, you know, maybe not quite as good as part 2 for my personal enjoyment, but objectively, I think better in a lot of ways, in the story ways.
Yeah, objectively better.
Yeah, so I like it. What would you rate that as?
I don't know. I want to put it in A, but I can't remember how much of it was like actually good videos or if I'm just thinking about the show. So tentatively, I'm gonna put it. You know, is it better? It's probably in between Oshinoko season 1 and 2. We're gonna start doing this now.
Yeah.
Probably between those two. Is it better than Oshinoko season 1 as far as our videos like for it? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Is it better than Oshinoko season 2? I would think.
Here's the thing. I don't know because our discussions for Oshinoko, even for season 2, about the whole production, about theater, about film, about all that kind of thing, about the natures of production and writing, and like when we were talking about like the script writing arc,
yeah,
where like the author was like, oh, I'll write the fucking script. It's my story. I'm gonna do everything myself. Yeah. And then we preemptively, before the show even got into it, started talking about like different mediums and adaptations, and because that's something we talk about a lot. That's something we care about. So like our discussions were good. I think that it's probably just below Oshinoko season 1, but you know, I don't know. I feel like it might be tied with it. It could even be low A. I don't know. But because it's been so long since we watched this that I can't remember if the videos themselves were actually good or what, you know? What do you guys... Actually, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's low A or high B? It's in there. Boruto on D? Yeah, Boruto's not in D because the show is in D. The show's an F, but we elevated it because we're better than Boruto. Our reaction videos are better. No, that's not right.
C.
A, B, C,
a lot of B's. I feel like B.
It's kind of split, and I feel like that's what I'm feeling too. But if I'm thinking about A, it's hard.
I feel like there's going to be some good shows that are going to be probably better than that, but not quite S.
Do you guys think it belongs in front of Oshi no Ko Season 2 or behind it? Those of you who's not in terms of the show, but in terms of for people who've seen both of our series for that. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it deserves top of B or bottom of A? Do a poll. We're kind of doing one right now. I don't think there's enough. I don't even know how many people are in the chat right now. I don't have the view count up.
Gleipnir should be S.
Behind, top B, in
B,
front.
In front.
Definitely above Oshi no Ko. Above Carson's forehead, Hell's Paradise.
Bottom. I feel like we could maybe take it above this.
Yeah. I think if you take the whole thing, it's also hard. It's also difficult too because there's so many episode difference. Like there's like 40 episodes or something like that, or something like that,
that
in that
really
range. Short. And that's only 12. And we took a break with Oshi no Ko because we were busy. But yeah, I'll say we can do top B. If it starts getting clogged up, then we can maybe move it. But I think top B, I'm comfortable with that. It might be low A, it might be top B.
We can also just do the other parts of JoJo right now while we're at it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I feel like part 2 could be A.
I think, actually, that's interesting. Do you guys, for those of you who've seen our JoJo reactions, do you think that the part 2 reactions are better than the part 4 reactions? Ooh. By the way, somebody said hi earlier and I didn't get to say, was it Noble Clickbait Highlights? I think I said hi to you. Baseball Tomorrow. I think I said hi to you as well. I don't want to miss anybody. JG Raiden. JG Raiden. Love, it's been 5 years. Dino! Dino! Beautiful Lie! Oh my god, sorry, I wasn't reading the names earlier. Hamza!
Yes. No. And maybe it's also
Jane Williams.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably true, because we probably didn't have very much discussions for that. I think the difference is that was shorter.
Mm-hmm. What up, Dan?
But I think...
What shows on S that's Run with the Wind? Sorry.
But I think that they maybe were worse because there was a lot more time. Even if I was not feeling this as much at the start, there was a lot of time for me to recover and get super emotionally invested. Whereas that one, I was just having fun the whole time.
And, here's what might have split the difference, is that, so you're enjoying it, and that's like an on or an off, but, the discussion aspect of it is a little bit more nuanced. Because I actually went into this not thinking I was going to like part 2, because I watched it on my own, I didn't super like part 2 as much. I liked part 3 more. But rewatching it was a really interesting experience, and that was a sort of another layer to the reactions, where I was, recontextualizing and rethinking through all of my rankings and feelings and how I thought about the quality of each part. Mm-hmm. So I think that journey, usually other than discussing analysis stuff, I'm behind, and I don't really get to have a reaction to things that I've seen. But because I was re-experiencing it and rethinking about it, I think that journey kind of adds to the sort of rankings of the video. So I think that this probably would be above part 4. Not because the reactions themselves, the watching part was necessarily better, but because I think that just that journey itself, and I still think that part 4 is better than part 2. Mm-hmm. But I think that our reactions to it, if you were to take everything into account, our reactions to part 2, I think, were better than our reactions.
Especially
to part 4.
Considering other things we were reacting to at the time. I feel like that was good. Also, part 1, I don't know if we need to go as into it as part 1. We've kind of already covered it. I was really unsure about this series at first. By the time we got to part 2, that's when I got into it. This, I feel like I was just confused. I didn't know, like, I felt like I couldn't understand the tone of the show, so it was really hard for me to, like, am I supposed to be laughing at this, or am I supposed to be, like, horrified, or is it a mix of both? Like, not that I'm trying to react, like, you know,
on purpose or something. Yeah,
I was just confused
on the energy to bring to it. Yeah,
of the tone. And, like,
I think that
sometimes we laugh at, like, you know, say we laugh at something in Boruto and everyone absolutely fucking loses their shit.
Yeah.
So,
sorry.
like, sorry. So it's like in Naruto, if I laugh at something that people thought was cool and, like, crazy, everyone would get mad that I wasn't taking it seriously. So then we watch Jojo, where things are crazy, but part of it is, like, it's so crazy that it's kind of funny, or it's just so unexpected that, like, whatever reaction you have is kind of okay, but I was, like, yeah, I was just confused.
And I think that it comes to, like, and that's kind of part of why we're ranking the reactions and not the shows themselves in this, because it's kind of an interesting discussion when you think about it, and it's about our channel and everything, about the development of our channel, because we also started this shortly after, like, starting Naruto. We were still doing part 1, I think, or maybe we had just started Shippuden while we did this. It was, like, in that beginning era. Oh no, we had started Shippuden. I could tell by my hair. I'm pretty sure. By that time, we were at least right about to start Shippuden or starting Shippuden. Maybe that's why we chose this, because it was like another shonen to do.
Yeah.
We didn't want to. You didn't really want to do My Hero. I didn't really want to do Bleach at the time. You know, like we had, and we didn't want to do We didn't want to jump into One Piece while we were doing Naruto. So like we landed on doing JoJo around the time that we started Shippuden to kind of expand out and get another kind of hook in for people who come for Naruto, who like JoJo. Yeah, so it was kind of strategic why we chose this, but it was in that same period where you're, like, really scared of saying the wrong thing, you don't want to come off the wrong way, so...
Especially for another series where, it's all on me because you've already seen the show, so it's my reaction, but I'm, like, confused and you know... But
one thing I remember even to this day about JoJo Part 1 and the reactions is... You were unsure about it for the first 2 episodes, and then once we got to the 3rd one, I remember when they first fight and their house burns down and it's like crazy and they're falling through the burning house, and then Dio's like sticking to the walls and walking through the fire and stuff like that. I could tell the hook got into you a little bit, but it was slippery because of how nervous you were. I think that if this is the kind of thing, if we were watching it now, you would have been hooked and we would have been flying through the shit with the energy that we bring to like One Piece, for example, where there's a good story there, but it's buried under like a little bit of you need to kind of put yourself in the right mindset, especially if you're a critical person. So like, there's enough there to really dig into, but you need to be in the right headspace, and you weren't in the right headspace. Yeah. But there were flashes in part 1 where you like really liked it. Like when Zappelli...
Yeah, when Zappelli.
When Zappelli, you know what I'm saying? When he showed up, he really changed it. He made it more funny for you.
Yeah, I felt like
and then you were really invested during his like big fight and showdown. Yeah. Like there's flashes and moments.
Thing, like that's when I was like, okay. Yeah. I get it. You know, it was good.
Yeah, Carson character arc is underrated. He doesn't interrupt Lindsay anymore, kind of. It's a developing story. I think C.
And what's interesting is I feel like JoJo...
Probably below Gleipnir.
I think below Gleipnir, and that's what's interesting about ranking it by our reactions, because objectively Gleipnir is a worse show than JoJo Part 1 by any set of standards, but the reaction is what we're ranking here.
I'm maybe gonna zoom in the camera just a touch more.
Okay.
Because I feel like I can't. Oh, I said I can't. Just like that. Literally like that. Okay. You can see just a little bit better.
Okay. What next?
Did Carson rewatch Berserk and clue whether it still holds up? It does, no question. I didn't want to rewatch it. I know I love the Golden Age. That's like one of my favorite things ever. I wasn't going to rewatch it. I was going to reread it. But I've been playing around with doing a reread from the ground up of Berserk. And doing it either on streams, even though I'm against that, or doing like a full-on video, like a video essay series about like, maybe not each arc, but like parts 1, like 2, 3, a 3-part series of like early Berserk, and then from maybe what's it even called? The with the tower. What am I crazy? What arc is that? It's like after the Golden Age. It's like the religious tower. I'm forgetting the fucking name. How am I forgetting the name? No, yeah, Golden Age. I mean, it's like one of the best stories. Am I caught up? I'm not caught up. That's the thing. No, not Tower of God. Anyway, Tower of Conviction. The Conviction arc. Like from 0 to end of Golden Age, and then Conviction arc to Death of Mura, and then Death of Mura to now is like I would do 3 and like include like maybe voyeuristically kind of film myself reading, and then if I had a big reaction or had something to say, then cut to that, but mostly give like a full review or something like that. I wanted to do something like that, and I've also wanted Lindsay to read it, so I thought if I were ever to do a reread, I could wait till she was in the mood to do that, and then we could talk about it together and do like content of it that way. But yeah, I with Berserk, just a side thing since people were asking, Berserk is like a foundational thing to my development as a young man, and it was like a big deal in my life, and like it really changed the way that I think about stories. It really like spoke to me in a big way. But I'm not a young man. I am a young man, but I'm not a youngster anymore. I wouldn't get if I were to read it for the first time today, I wouldn't get the same things out of it. So like was the value that I got out of it more about the series, or does it just speak to a certain age group of men, and is there value for it outside of that part of your life, or if you're not a sad boy, loner, depressed, fucking mother's basement dwelling dude, does that person get the same out of it as me now? Like, or is it just, did it really speak to me because I was listening for that, like that type of thing? So that like you're 40, I feel 40.
Trashing on everyone.
Anyway, what now?
This is an interesting one. What God of High School. Second guess what it was called for a second there.
God of HS. It's all like blown out and
Bro
bright.
relates to part 3 Joseph more than part 2 Joseph at this point.
Okay. Look how bright your thumbnails used to be. Lindsay makes the darkest, grimiest thumbnails these days. They're all like fucking dark red. Nobody's clicking on our shit because she puts these dark red thumbnails. Look at this genius. You did it better in the first 2 months of your job than 5 years into it. Look at this. I still have to tell her what faces to use. She's been making thumbnails for 5 years. I've made probably 20 thumbnails in the last 5 years. Lindsay's made 2,500.
What can I say? I'm gonna say, for this one...
She's still like, oh, can you check my work? I'm not your boss. Anyway.
I think for this one, either this is gonna be extremely high B or A. Because although I know a lot of people didn't like this show, we had so much fun with this show, Yeah. And this is a show that... when it started to go sort of off the rails and like the story,
no one cuts for the series.
The story didn't make as much sense. We still enjoyed it. We were just like, okay, that's fine. We're gonna go with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is something.
Tell me if the music's too loud, by the way. Sometimes
which is something like, in Hell's Paradise, we didn't do that. We were not down for our expectations to be not lived up to, In this one, we were hoping that it would be something more than just cool fights. And then in the end, when it just evolved into cool fights, we were like, you wanna know what? Let's go with it. And
that's actually not my experience with it.
Oh.
My experience was kind of the opposite, in a way. The first 5 episodes of God of High School, up until the main 2 guys fight in the ring, and they're like having fun doing it, like that whole sequence. This series is really good because, at least the first half of it is, because you can tell, and bits of the second half, it's made by people who are having fun making it, and that's what's really fun about it. Mm-hmm. And it literally, the first scene is a bunch of dudes on a beach being like, oh, if they don't do what we say, we'll have to cut funding and blah, 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 a bunch of and they won't get past my political machinations. And then they get absolutely crushed by a giant hand, as if to say, it's not this type of show. This is a show where it's about crazy big powers. It's not about all of this political nonsense. If you think it's about that, well, the people that you were going to be interested with that plotline just died. It's not like, say, Blue Lock, where they're like, it's like half a commentary on the Japanese football scene and then half action, bullshit. I mean, not half, it's more about the action. Anyway, it does away with that entirely at the very beginning. So I really liked that, and I really had reacted well to that because I felt like the show was screaming, don't think about this too hard. In fact, don't think about it at all. It's just fun. And it still had like an emotional core to it for the first little bit. And I think you had a different experience because it was like one of your first seasons. It was kind of in the Gleipnir era. So yeah, what up, Stevenson Johnson? Thank you for the happy anniversary. Bond. Classic. Anyway, yeah, they should have made it longer, but again, it was one of 3 hooks they had in the water of Nobless, Tower of God, and then this. And we said at the time, Tower of God is just a Hunter x Hunter ripoff, like eventually a lot of manhwa would end up being, Solo Leveling, and a bunch of others, not just that. It's like clearly Hunter x Hunter had a huge impact in Korea, and this was a bit more classical. It was a bit more of like a Dragon Ball and like but mixed with a modern kind of high schoolish
characters.
Yeah. It was also just different because it was Korean and that was very novel at the time.
It also, I think, we said at the time, and also, especially once we watched
Even
Nobless,
still, it's kind of novel.
Especially at the time, once we watched Nobless, we were like, why on earth was any budget going to Nobless?
Yeah, they should have
just done 2 core of this. And everyone would have been much happier.
Yeah.
But
so,
what would
I don't know.
rank it as?
I don't know. I'd say low C. I'd say low C.
Oh.
I'd say low C. Because yeah, some of I remember the first 5 episodes and our reactions to those and how much we loved that. There were a couple crazy moments later, but like it was just a little bit overly edgy and the pacing went up like to 11. People say that and they're not wrong. It's just, it gets a little, like, I don't remember anything about the next part other than the fucking guy who was, like, an angel and a shark and a fucking, like, a lot of that stuff. There was, like, political stuff going on in a way, or, like, kidnappings of his dad or grandpa or whatever, and connections to all that shit, and he's best friends with this tiger kid, and what does that even mean to me, Like, I remember up to the fight with the 2 main dudes, and that was fucking epic. One of the best fight scenes ever. It's so good because you can tell that the production had fun.
Yeah.
So, but past that, I don't remember. So I honestly can't even see what our reactions would have been like. So I'd have to say low C.
Okay, I would have probably put it at like a B, but...
Really?
I guess I just remember reacting fondly to it,
Well, we could put it higher. What do you guys think, C or B?
We probably didn't have that good of discussions at the same time, so yeah, maybe
I had
C.
a couple. I remember with this, I was like new at really getting into anime as like anime. I was mostly just a TV show or like writing kind of person, like more about TV shows in general. And, anime was a part of that. But like, it wasn't until after this I became an anime fan. So I remember, like, I forgot that I knew about Sun Wukong and what that was. And because of how early I was into that whole journey, it was, like, novel and, like, really, or I keep saying that. It was, like, very, like, a big deal. Like, oh, there's, like, or it's, like, a Chinese or Japanese, like, legend of, like, a monk or something. And I, like, I was just kind of ignorant. But anyway. So, like, the discussions might have been interesting, but I don't think that they were that great. I would say probably C. I feel comfortable. C+. Deserves B. Okay, we could put it low B.
I would say we could put it, like, here on B.
Yeah.
Or,
Right below there, yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Because I think our reactions to it was better than Gleipnir. You know what I mean?
Think so?
Like, you know, just in terms of, like, in the end we ended up having a lot of criticisms and kind of getting let down by Gleipnir. And this what kind of was that, too. But I feel like we were, in general, more upbeat about it. Do you want to pick the next one?
Bonbon says, guys, by the way, I noticed you're making Mad Men references during Apothecary Dies reactions. Have you finished it already? How do you like it? It's my favorite show. We watched it, and then we watched the first 2 seasons.
Again,
we
like
rewatched
immediately.
Yeah, I always loved Mad Men, but I never finished the last bit. And then we were just, like, wanting to watch something just for us and relax. Mm-hmm. So I showed Lindsay Mad Men, and you really liked it.
I really, really liked it.
Yeah, it was
really
awesome.
Good.
It's great. It's a great show. Mm-hmm. Great show. I liked it even more now than I did when I watched it the first time. It was so good.
A brief rundown, because people keep asking, I'll just go over. This is Run with the Wind, Oshinoko Season 1, and then here we have Jojo Part 2, Jojo Part 4, Oshinoko Season 2, God of High School, Gleipnir, Jojo Part 1, Boruto, Hell's Paradise, Jojo Part 3, Horimiya Peace, and Nobless at the...
Absolute
nothing
bottom.
can beat Nobless as being terrible.
Yeah.
Do you want to pick the next one?
Sure. I don't even know what's over here.
Oh.
One Punch Man. Oh, these aren't even on our channel anymore. Interesting thing with these, it was at the same time we were doing part 3. So Lindsay was just being dumb at this period of time in our channel. And for no reason. So the reactions were bad, and I had already seen it, except for episode 8. And it was kind of disappointing because I thought that she would liked it. I also made the error of making her watch it in dub, which, you know, if you like the dub, that's fine. I thought she would like the dub more because it was like really fresh in the channel. I think that was a mistake. After seeing both, the comedy lands so much better in Japanese, even if you don't speak Japanese. It just fits better and is sharper and more funny. And, yeah. So...
I think,
Lindsay,
I think if I watch it now, I would really like it. That's the thing.
Which is
and
why
I look back on it fondly. I recommend it to people. But I think at the time, because we're watching part 3, and I was just not having a good time with that, Naruto reactions were kind of up and down. We might, the
dub is fine. It's just not better.
We were probably watching part of Shippuden, probably also at the same time. That was probably shitty. Yeah. If it was early on in Shippuden, like we,
I think it was around like the Orochimaru fucking
so it's like
Sai arc,
we have
which is the worst arc in television.
Part 3 that I hated, part of Shippuden that I hated, this that I like was kind of met on, but was just kind of just having a rough, like it's like every day you go into work. And, like, normally it's really fun, but then it's just, like, shitty for, like, a month or 2. And
then you just hold on to that energy forever. Yeah. Go on, sorry. I was going to cut you off, but I won't.
I think if I watch it now, I really like it. I look back on it fondly, but I know that I didn't have good reaction to it. And Carson had already seen it, so... Yeah. I feel like it's automatically...
Karine is not that bad. Karine's pretty funny, especially if you're talking about dub Karine. Her voice actress does a good job, and it makes it funny. Mm-hmm. And then Dan says, it's a parody of Shonen, makes sense she didn't get it at that point. And you're saying that like you agree, but we had already finished Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. You've seen and love Harry Potter. Narnia's, in at least Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe is kind of like a shonen. You know, like you have context for Western heroes' journeys, Star Wars, again, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and we watched Naruto, and we watched God of High School. Mm-hmm. Like, you had enough context to get this, but you just were not having a good time, and I think if we watched sub, you might have had a better time, but I think that it was just, you just weren't, it's funny looking back, because our channel, like, this is like during the golden age of our channel, but it's not, like, not all the videos were that good. It's just that it was more fun and fresh. But I think it would be... I mean, it's worse than part 3. Yeah. It's way worse than part 3. So it'd be E. Mm-hmm. And I think what we're going to do... We haven't seen season 2, and I'm glad we didn't watch season 2, because I wouldn't even like season 2 at the time. I probably won't be crazy about it now. But what we'll probably do is rewatch this show in batches of, like, a few episodes, or maybe do a thing where we watch it and then we send it off to Bob, Mike, Joe, and he just cuts it all down or something, so that I don't have to do, because if I have to edit a whole season of something we've already seen, it'll be hell for me, and, you know. So maybe we just do a bulk reaction to season 1, maybe on a stream or something.
Just and to rewatch it.
Rewatch it so Lindsay can get it. We rewatch it in Japanese. Lindsay gets it. Then we do season 2 on the channel full and take it from there. Yeah. I think that's kind of what we're going to think. These are privated right now because there was a scare like 2 years ago where like all reactors were going to have their fucking Patreons deleted and their channels banned and a bunch of craziness.
About like hundreds of strikes, like 300 strikes or something.
JD Anime got literally like 400 or more, I think, strikes. Like all of their videos got struck like one after another, and it was like insane. It was one of the most traumatic I mean, like, listen, I've been through worse things, but that was like by far one of the most traumatic experiences that I've gone through. And I imagine one or two other reactors who maybe hear me say that will either agree or they'll just think I'm kind of a bitch. But it was genuinely terrifying to work 3 years and like build up a community and everything and have like security and be like into your shit and then just like have everything taken out. So that was when we removed all of our ship it in reaction. That's why there's no ship it in playlist, because the playlist got all fucked up. And Naruto, like a bunch of videos. We deleted like 800 videos or something like that preemptively.
We were luckily able to get it back.
And we were luckily able to get them back.
It did save us from getting like struck into oblivion. But
yeah.
Anyway, these are not that great, and we just similar.
So
to Boruto,
that's why they're not visible. Is we just never put them back up because they were bad.
Because they're similar to Boruto. It was just like, this is not our best work. Let's not, display it.
Yeah.
So would say...
I wouldn't put it in F because of your reaction to the Moomin Rider stuff. Yeah. I think that is its saving grace. I would put it low E. I put it below.
At the end, we'll kind of like, shuffle anything back up.
But yeah, I think that, that there's a reason why it's still not available.
Yeah. Let's go. This could be interesting.
Don't tell us what to do, Killer Queen. This is our stream. This is our anniversary. You don't tell us when to move on. We move on when we want. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, sorry.
This is an interesting one. Beastars season 1. I actually don't know. I don't think I got one for season 2, but we didn't finish season 2, so. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I feel like I still look back fondly on the show. I like the show. I feel like we had decent reactions to the show. I don't think it was our best. The OP is really fucking good.
Yeah. I feel like this is a mixed bag. I feel like this is probably a C, low C. I remember editing this series and being like, we were watching, we would just have, we liked it. It was good. There was a few good big moments. Nothing crazy. Some decent discussions, some wow moments, some
annoying things that we didn't care for.
Some dumb bullshit, yeah.
That girl that you hated.
Yeah, fuck that girl. I hate her. Fuck that bitch. She's a wolf, right? Yeah. I remember she was in a thumbnail at one point for one of the streams with me pointing the zapper at you, and then I just we put her in front. Or maybe that was, did I even make that, or did Girthin or Meme Planet make that? I can't remember. We gotta do more streams. Juno, fuck that bitch.
What's that?
This is Beastars season 1. We haven't watched season 2. I'd say, can't see, yeah, I know, sorry, it's the problem with doing this in real life, but it's also more fun.
The lights are a little bit harsh, but
I don't think that's a problem with the camera. It's just they're so small the camera's not even picking it up. Anyway, yeah, and it has to be a certain size, and we're a certain size, and anyway, I could lower the camera down and then zoom in a little bit more, but we'd have to get closer in, and then we'd be blocking the tier list. So. Whatever. I'll zoom in at the end.
Yeah.
And then look over everything. And then you can take a picture and save it or something like that. But
yeah.
Beastars season 1. I think low C. Low C. Maybe D. Maybe D.
Until the last time you hate my girl Juno. That's why the reactions were peak. Put it at A or B.
What do you guys think? I'm thinking low C, but I don't think it's D. I don't think it's B.
I could say C, but what's interesting about the C tier is it's gonna be kind of a mixed bag. Because, like, this was a bad show that we had fun with. This was a good show that we didn't have as much fun with. And then that can be a mid-show that we had a medium amount of fun with, you know?
I want Big Wilf to be more part of the stream.
You can come in front.
But he just swings around, this guy. Look at him. Fat. Yeah, I think C.
I think C.
I need to shift my chair a little bit. How about that, Wolf?
We could do another...
Do you have another piece of that tape?
No, but I can get some.
I just want Wilf to... We went through all this effort of getting him back, and he's such a character. I want him to be down a little bit more. How's that? Where is he? It matters to me. Oh, look at the cat. Look at that other cat. Yeah, that's better. I mean, that's alright. I'll just take that. And I want him to kind of move around is the thing.
He can't be trusted.
How about this? That's okay. Alright.
Is this you judging your own reactions or the audience judging your reactions?
Us. It's a retrospective in a way.
This is both. Let's see what else we could do here.
Listing ongoing series. Did you print ongoing series?
Yeah, like I have a Apothecary Diary. And anything that is like up on our channel, like I didn't do Orb or like things that haven't come out yet. We're
doing Orb on Patreon.
It will be on YouTube.
It will be on YouTube, yeah. But we're taking this week to get caught up on Apothecary, and then we're gonna do the same thing with Orb. We're just posting it constantly.
I don't know. We could do let's do a recent one.
Ophesian. Welcome.
Let's do Sakamoto Days.
Okay.
This is recent. This is a little bit different. I know that sort of the reception to this in general was like pretty lukewarm and people just kind of dismissed it. But I love this show. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is everything that I wanted Spy Family to be.
Yeah.
But even better.
Sakamoto. I think what are you saying?
It's just, to me, it is wholesome, it is funny, it has action. You know, the animation is not like the best ever, but like they kick it, like, you know, it works. You know, and I feel like it's consistent.
Yeah, if you're watching this in the future, this is just core 1.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love it.
What letter for you? I have an idea.
I'd say at least an A.
I didn't have that good of a time with it.
Okay.
And I edited the reactions. I'd put it mid B.
Oh.
What do you guys think? Like, I know you had a great time with it, but like the videos, we hardly ever had a good discussion. High B, A. High B, low A. I was thinking
It fits with the other B. I think it could be B.
I think, yeah, when I think about like Oshinoko Season 2, Part 4, Part 2, better than God of High School.
Yeah.
Not better than Part 2 reactions, I think.
We could maybe... Because I feel like with this, like, you know, there was like some... I feel like these were like the show, it was consistently... You know, consistently mid, but not like.
What happened with Spy Family? I just got bored of it. I fucking wasn't enjoying it.
But it wasn't mid in the way that like Beastars was mid. You know, like it was mid in a very enjoyable.
I personally would put it below Oshinoko Season 2, but I'll accept that placement, I guess. I feel like as far as judging the video quality, it's probably better than the other two. But yeah, I don't know.
Let's do. We're filling up the middle here. Let's see about...
Love Apothecary. I think Apothecary might go in S, but we'll cross our bridge when it comes to it. Ooh.
Dandadan, another
S.
recent one. This
Low
I
S.
think is S.
Low S.
Low S.
Low S, but an S. I think. The show is S, and I think our reactions were really good for it. Yeah, I think this is a pretty clear cut.
Like it's S, but yeah, it's low S. It didn't like change our lives and emotionally impact us the way. I mean, maybe it could in future seasons, but Run with the Wind, like, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of the other S thing here, definitely better than Oshi no Ko Season 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in terms of our reaction. Yeah, I would say, yeah, S.
Wilf, hold on, Wilf. I gotta move Oshi no Ko down a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it did kind of.
Put that one.
Your discussions and reactions were top tier during the show.
I think so, too. Yeah, it didn't change our life or anything, but it was, holy shit, it was so good. And, like, we just had nothing but good things, and we had a decent amount to say about it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I love this. You know, like, that's the thing with Sakamoto is, like, the show was not animated super well. It was a decent show. It was a good show. We enjoyed it, but it didn't go on that deeper level. I think Dandadan crossed that threshold, but didn't go any further. Mm-hmm. But we'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Let's do this, because we did, already in F tier is Horimiya Peace, but we still have Horimiya Season 1.
Which, if you see, everybody get your Karskes out.
Yeah.
All you new people who got the green names, spam your fucking Karskes, because there he is right there. The OG. Wait, hang on. Ugh. I gotta block your face. Why isn't it? Oh, there.
Almost.
Almost. Why isn't it?
Oh, there.
There we go. Almost, yeah.
Classic. Oh my god, look at him all.
There he is. Focus, damn it.
Classic. And like, you might think, why is that the thumbnail? It was if you watched that episode, you would know that it was completely warranted.
There we go.
Carson was just doing a good impression of the main guy.
Easy.
B, I think.
Oh god, Carson, what happened to you? What do you mean, what happened to me? What do you mean, what happened to me? What does that even mean?
You mean in this picture?
In that picture? The guy was, like, pulling off his school uniform and, like, jumping over a fence. All sexy, like, obviously sexy.
I feel like that this could be... I think this could be B.
I think so, too.
I think
it could be A. I think it could be low A. I think it could be low... I think it's low A.
I think it could be low A, because you wanna know why? We like this show. We had fun with it. There was a little bit of problems, but we liked it. You hated that one girl so much.
Oh my
We got in an actual fight over.
And that was great content, because we actually disagreed strongly, and we both had good points, I think. I think that to the point where the bitches who watch reactions to this fucking show were fucking girl boss defending this fucking idiot girl. To the point where I'm like, you are the problem. Like, if you agree with this pink-haired bitch, holy shit, she was so dumb. Holy fuck. And I wonder if it is like the same thing kind of happens with shows written by guys, and there's like a guy that I like that you think is the worst person ever.
Yeah.
It often happens. Beastars too, written by a woman. There's Juno, this like feminine character from feminine energy.
No, it wasn't even the pink hair girl that you didn't like, wasn't it? Wasn't it the blonde girl that was like shy and then fucked over Sakura? Her name was Yuki, I think.
I hated them both.
Okay.
I hated them both. You're right. I did hate her even more. But that's what it was.
That's what we got in the fight.
No,
about.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because you related to her, and I'm saying that is literally the epitome of frenemy, toxic femininity. Like, women talk all the time. I'm fucking Tate now. Women talk all the time about fucking weaponized incompetence. And like, oh, he just doesn't want to do this, so he's acting dumb like he can't. That is that person. 1,000%. Idiot person. Okay? Stupid and does nothing to fix your life, but the only thing you do to improve your life is tear down one of your fellow women and literally steal their chance at a relationship. There was nothing in that show about, oh, the guy really actually just liked her. There was the one line that insinuated that, but he could have had a decent she could have had a decent chance. He probably would have liked either of them. They're both super bland, dumb high school girls with no personality. So what's the real difference other than this girl really likes him and this girl really likes him but won't do anything about it? Bitch.
the emo Carson. Alright, on to happier times.
W incel.
We have such things as...
Oh my god. So bad. Like, you're getting me worked up. It's all flooding back.
No. We don't... Let's go... Oh, there's some that I'm like, oh, should we, like, save this till later? Because it's, like, so good, you know? What about...
But, okay, so one last thing on that. Like, everyone's like, oh, you know what? Maybe he has a point. Look at the comments of those fucking videos, you guys. Go right now and look at the comments of those videos. All of the comments are saying how they agree with Lindsay, that they related to this girl, and that I'm being dumb and just hating women or something. Not that strong, but they're like, oh, Carson's just getting like overly fixated on this. He just doesn't understand. Bitch. That is what is wrong with society, is that type of thing, of these people who cry and whine and don't do anything about it, and then blame everyone else, and then rug pull them with some duplicitous nonsense. I'm 1,000% right on this. Go look at the comments right now to those videos. Go right now. Wait, real quick. Other than being bored, do you know why we didn't finish the second season? It's because of that. It's because I had a fun rant about how dumb the pink-haired girl was, and about how she was just a stupid bitch. And then go to the comments of that video, the last Horimiya Peace video we watched. What will you find? You'll find a bunch of dumb bitches complaining about how I am, like, being mean to their fucking favorite girl or something. It's fucking dumb.
Carson, just to remind you, like, Mac has just reminded us that you have no enemies, and I think that is a great way to segue in one of the greatest shows of all time, Vinland Saga Season 2.
One of the greatest series ever.
One of the greatest seasons ever.
One of the greatest seasons ever. Similar trend of the second season being the best in the show. I think that even when we get season 3, if we get season 3, I actually don't know if we will, because this didn't perform that well on release.
Yeah.
I think we will. I don't think it's been confirmed, but I'm sure we will. It's like one of the most popular manga series ever. Anyway. What was I even going to say? So good. It's just another thing where the second one is better than anything else.
Yeah, I think that does...
dethrone. Yeah. This might be, and honestly...
And I don't think anything might pass that up. Like,
I think that's true. I think that, like, we had the most in-depth, most interesting discussions. I think that we had genuinely emotional reactions the entire time. And, yeah. It was... Oh, Season 3 was announced. Oh, okay, never mind. My bad. Anyway. Yeah, this might be the best series of reactions on our channel. Yeah, I think... what else was I going to say?
Did Carson cry? I feel like you probably did.
Yeah, I did. I think I did a couple times. It's... And what else? Well, what else was I going to say? Oh, and it's another one of those things where I think it's possible that we might have one of the, like... There's a bunch of channels, like this is one of the biggest series. I think a lot of channels have reacted to the show. I think that if you take into account our reactions and our discussions and analysis of it, the whole package, I think that our videos are among the best Vinland Saga reaction videos that you can find on YouTube. And that's something that I'm proud of. If it's true, I don't know if it's 100% true because I haven't seen every reaction, obviously. But I'd venture to guess, given the quality of the discussions and everything going on here, including our genuine reactions, everything, the whole package. We had good insights. We had emotional discussions about it. We talked about things from a bunch of different angles. I think that we're among probably, like, this playlist of BOLDcast reactions to Vinland Saga Season 2 is among the best Season 2 reactions that you potentially could find.
I think it's some of the best on our channel.
Yeah.
So that will go top S.
Top of the pile. And I think it's a contender, if not the best reaction series on our channel.
I think that will be extremely hard to beat.
Yes.
Next up, let's go for another one that this is Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. This is one that we finished watching, but
lights, that's all kind of fucked up, sorry.
This is one that we finished watching, but did not finish posting.
On YouTube because the views were so bad.
Yeah. And also you just didn't want to edit them.
Well, yeah, because our reactions weren't that good.
Yeah.
And because I think, I don't know who this show was for. I guess
I kind of liked it. I liked it more than, the movie.
I think the movie can't, it could have been, I don't know. I don't know what it's just a reunion. That's more what it's about. It should have been a special. It shouldn't have been a whole season.
But it could have been
it's like a reunion special for, a sitcom that you liked from the fucking 2000s or the 80s or something. Those things where, Full House, and then they have the Full House reunion on Saturday Night Live. It's that kind of thing, where, everybody who worked on it, the original movie, still has a passion, and, there's so many stories about how they all still care about each other, and, have an email thread, and, or a group chat that they're all still interacting in, and Edgar Wright's obviously awesome. He's one of my favorite directors. Scott Pilgrim, the movie, is, top 10 favorite movies of mine of all time. I just didn't really, it's because it's a tight story. I don't really care about, I guess it's that I wasn't crazy about the comics. I don't know. I didn't super enjoy this, and I didn't want to finish editing it because we didn't have that great of a reaction to it either. I didn't feel like it was worth it, and the videos were not doing good, because I don't think people cared to see our reactions. Even if we had good reactions, I don't think that they would care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you put
What up,
it
Devil?
at?
F. F. We didn't finish it because we didn't have good reactions to the entire show. Nothing. There was never a time where we're oh man, I'm so glad we watched this show.
That's true.
It was always talking about it in the context of the movie or in the context of what people expect.
I'd say, maybe. I don't think it was. Well, maybe it was better than this. We finished it.
Yeah.
And you hated this. You didn't really like that.
Yeah.
I liked both.
Yeah. And I wanted to like it really bad. I was really excited for it.
While we're at it, we could go with another one that we only watched, I think, 1 or 2 episodes of.
Thank God.
Higurashi When They Cry.
This is another F.
This is an F.
This is an easy F. We watched the first 2 episodes, got spoiled on the first series.
Honestly,
guys, it's not a sorry, you go on. Sorry.
No, you're saying.
I want you to say it. I want you to say it.
I was excited for the show. I was I kind of want to watch a horror anime. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Immediately, we asked around. We asked people. Everyone was like, no, this is not a sequel. This will not spoil. This is a remake of it. So we're
it's a reimagining or something.
Okay, we start watching it. We watch and post the first episode. Every comment is just oh no, this spoiled the entire first show. Now, because we were we'll watch this and then we'll go and rewatch the first one if we like it. And then everyone was no, this is terrible. You should have watched the first one, but now you're spoiled on it. And then
it wasn't even spoiler people in this case.
It was the show spoiling.
It was the show doing an avant-garde, meta sequel, mind-bendy.
Who only
exactly
only for people. The whole thing was no, you
they
don't.
Marketed
you should watch
it
the first thing
as a remake, but really it's a sequel, and it was supposed to be a mind-bendy challenge to your expectations. Type thing.
People had no way of knowing. That's true.
Yeah, they didn't. It wasn't their fault. It was just
people. It was
bad. What up, Ewan Polgar? I didn't notice it was you.
I made it sound like it was the people. It was clearly the the marketing.
Yeah.
For this thing, because if they had marketed it properly, we might have went and we might have caught up on.
I mean, this is as bad as Nobless or worse.
Yeah.
Because Nobless we at least made fun of.
Yeah.
That might be
we
worse.
were just disappointed. It's I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, kind of.
Basically Final Fantasy VII Remake. Thanks for the spoilers for that, you guys. I didn't know that was a different thing. Anyway.
Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk. This is another one where, like, I feel like it didn't affect, like, I still think it's not as good as everyone says. I think it's a similar, like, I was talking about Berserk before. If you didn't catch that, I was like, Berserk's a big part of my life. It really affected me and kind of changed the way that I think about a lot of things. It made me grow as a person, or, like, was a catalyst for that, and basically, it struck me at the right time, and I was there to receive what it was giving to me. And I feel like, and then if I were to reread Berserk now or re-experience it now, am I going to get the same things out of it? Or is it more for a certain type of person and a certain type of point in your life of, like, being directionless or, like, trying to find answers and things like that? It's for a certain person. I think that Cyberpunk is like that as well. I think that Cyberpunk, it's not a bad show, but it's not this, like, godly one of the, you know, like, it's become one of these shows that I think it's very marketable, has a really good English dub. Mm-hmm. And it's attached to a game series that is also very popular that a lot of people are familiar with. So it's an easy thing to recommend to new anime people, but it's not nearly on the level of Attack on Titan. It's not nearly on the level of Psycho-Pass, like other shows that I would put in that category of, like, the cream of the crop that, like, it should be the first thing that people see. Yeah. It's just not, to me, on that level. I think it's way too basic. I think that it doesn't go deep where it could have gone deeper. To me, and I think it's partly that I'm not the right person anymore to receive that. If I were to watch it when I was 19, I probably would have loved it.
I think that this could be a good thing to recommend to people. Maybe they watched Invincible, you know, and then they're like, oh, maybe I don't hate animated stuff. Maybe I'll watch, or maybe they watched Arcane, or, like, you know,
it's that kind of thing,
non-anime show, and then you're like, okay, this is, like, this is pretty non-anime, but it's still anime. You know what I mean? Like, it's basic. You know, it has a cool aesthetic. Some of the anime, it's a very beautiful looking show. But, like, overall...
And I love Gurren Lagann.
And the whole
Gurren Lagann's one of my favorites.
It had the potential...
It's not a style thing.
It had the potential to be something that I really loved. It just never... It never fully got me emotionally. And I know it got a lot of people emotionally. Didn't get me emotionally. I could understand the struggles of the characters. I could understand... I wasn't just like, why are you doing this, you stupid idiot? But I kind of was, because I was just like, I can see that, but you're not doing it in a good way that I, am convinced by. But
again, it's if we're talking about the videos that we made of this, you know, how do the videos themselves stack out? If you stack them up to other Cyberpunk reactions, I imagine these are probably shit, because we weren't as emotionally impacted pretty much at all compared to the people who are, like, crying their fucking souls out on the most, like, telegraphed death flag thing that's, like, to me, like, the most telegraphed death flag, see it coming from a million miles away, of one of the most shallow cast of characters that I've ever seen. It's just rule of cool, and it has this rule of cool or rule of cute, things like that. Like, when there's a hot girl, a cool guy, and they have a twinge of something a little bit deeper emotionally, if people relate to that or think it's cool, and relate to that even a little bit, those things multiply to the point where series and characters get deified beyond what they deserve. And I think that that's the case here. It's not that it's a bad show. It's just that it's really shallow, and people don't acknowledge or even think about that. It's no deeper than Solo Leveling, or it's just, you know, it's definitely more emotional. But if you're not affected by those emotions because you don't relate to the character doing things that are dumb as shit, just so the plot can continue and so you can have some weird commentary on addiction or something like that and self-destructive personalities, if you don't buy it, it has nothing else. So we did, as far as our videos, they aren't as good as other reactions to Cyberpunk, obviously, especially if you love it. So where does that leave this? I think that we had good discussions.
I will have to say, I don't think that it's a shallow Solo Leveling. I think that it was like trying to do more stuff, but on a more basic level.
Jujutsu's absolutely
but
better than this.
there was definitely more there than in something like Solo Leveling. Like someone said, Solo Leveling has cardboard cutouts for side characters. But at the same time, Solo Leveling's not trying to be super deep.
Right. I don't think this was trying to be super deep either, and it's not like it didn't accomplish what it wanted to accomplish. It's just super shallow, and I think that if we were to watch it now, we probably would have liked it a lot more because we're just more open to stuff now. But
I think I was mid on it.
Our videos on it, I think we had good discussions.
I think we had decent reactions.
Our reactions were decent. In the moment, we were able to get into it somewhat. I think I'd put it in B. Maybe low B.
Yeah, I think low B.
I think, the lowest B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because, like, again, it's not all about the super emotional reactions. And it's not always about loving the show unconditionally. Sometimes, as far as the quality of the videos that we made, it comes down to the discussion. And I think that, not our best work, but not even close to our worst. Yeah.
Let's go with this one.
JJK is an unseasoned Chainsaw Man. I think that Chainsaw Man is way deeper, better written story. But I think that season 2 of Jujutsu was like incredible. Despite what I said about the Maharaga fight. Ranking of Kings. What do you think about that?
Now this one could have been my favorite show of all time. This could have been the easiest S-tier that we ever... This could have been top rank S-tier.
Yeah.
This could have beat Vinland Saga. Unfortunately, it didn't. And it just was a complete letdown. It still ended up being, okay. But it just, it was so good. It had the potential to be so good. The writer had so many good ideas. It was, banger after banger of good ideas. And then it was just let me not follow through and, keep on that train of thought. Let's just, kind of... It's like they were, cooking up, a Michelin star dish, and then they didn't even burn it. They just ordered takeout instead.
Guys, we're not talking about Jujutsu anymore. We'll get to it. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
It was good. There was still some emotional moments at the end. Some of the animation was incredible. OP2, one of the best OPs ever. But, overall... it just could have been so much more than it was.
Yeah.
And I feel like we did have good reactions to it for the most part. Even when it, wasn't as great, I think that I
remember I got fed up around episode 15.
Yeah.
Episode 15 or 16, I think it was, where they had built up the fucking knights from the underworld or something.
Oh, yeah.
And they had built them up so much that it was unbelievable. They had built them up, more than the Anbu Black Ops... And they were treated about as the same as the Anbu Black Ops. They were this is the best fighting force in the world, led by the strongest leader in the world, or at least in this part of the world. And it was nothing. It was they showed up, and then the one dude who was a knight who was missing an arm, and his buddy who was a squire, I forget even what their status was. They sucked. They had gone through a training arc, but they didn't go through for a few days, and then they were fighting the strongest fighters in the fucking world. And it was completely emblematic. And then all the stuff with Apisu,
yeah,
the dude with the spear guy, where he kept flip-flopping every 1 second, and it was clearly just because the author didn't want to commit to anything. And I feel like that's the main problem with the Ranking of Kings story. And why I think in our discussion of it, we reluctantly gave it a 4 out of 10. Because while the first few episodes were incredible and stellar, and they had beautiful animation, the final big fight scene, incredible. Love Wit Studio, love the style. But I think it says enough that with all of the things going for it, it still fumbled to the point of being basically, I'm never going to rewatch it. Yeah. Maybe the first couple episodes just to get the vibe, but
it could have been.
It could have been so much more. It could have been so much more. And it's probably the most heartbreaking low score I've ever given to something. And I don't take joy in it. But as far as our reactions to it, I think that overall, because of that interesting kind of discussion, I think our videos are really good for it. Again, this is the same thing where if you're watching reactions to a show, you probably really love the show and you don't want to hear a negative critique of it. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make our videos bad. That makes other people unwilling to engage with genuine criticism. Sometimes it can go a little bit far because we're human and we're not perfect, and these are reactions. They aren't full-on essays, in a journal, sort of going over every plus and minus and, super thought out. It's our impression in the moment and our reaction based on our tastes, and we're backed up by as much review and discussion as we can manage at the time. So, we're not perfect, but it's in a kind of interesting place where it's something that we really wanted to love. We really did love initially.
We gave it as best of a chance as possible.
Exactly. And then we still, every episode, I think, had a decent discussion.
Yeah.
And tried our best to give it its fair shake. And I think that made the videos better. So I think this might be an A-tier series, despite the fact that we ranked it so low. And I think that's what makes the videos so interesting and good.
Because I think it's because we wanted to love it, we didn't just be like, oh, okay, I hate this. We were like trying to explain to ourselves and to people why we didn't like it, as opposed to just like, we didn't like it because of this. It's just like, we loved this so much, what happened, you know? So yeah, I think it could go A.
Better or worse? Probably worse than Horimiya.
Yeah, like low A.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's a fair spot for Ranking Kings. Give me another one.
It's just so hard to know the order. Let's go with...
Second OP, one of the best OPs ever. Exactly. Ranking of Kings OP2 is literally one of the best OPs ever.
Yeah.
So good. For the record, 4 out of 10 is not an A. Yeah, extra crispy, we know. Promised Neverland Season 1. Oh boy, what would you say about this show? About our reactions? I feel
like our reactions to this show... I still remember watching this show as like a high of my life.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I feel like this has to be S tier. I feel like there's no way that our reactions to this are not S tier. This was the first moment that I predict. This was the original Big Brain Lindsay moment.
Stevenson Johnson, sit down.
It in case anyone hasn't seen it, but the lullaby thing, I clocked it immediately.
You just spoiled it, but that's okay. You could have just said, everyone who's seen it knows.
Okay,
it's
everyone
legend.
Who's seen it knows. But yeah, it was so good. I feel like this has to be S.
Easy S. Where an S? Second to Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
I put it above Run with the Wind. As far as our reactions. And probably, this season 1 of this show is also just one of the best shows I've seen, We've been chasing something like we watch the show, and then every time there's a new season, we're like, I hope. I just every time our channel, when we're feeling kind of in a slump, we're like, I just want Promised Neverland again. We literally, when we say like we're chasing the high of Promised Neverland season 1, that's literally when we're picking new shows. It's like a scale from something like Blue Lock or Solo Leveling.
Yeah, like that's the lowest.
It's not the lowest. That's like good, solid. We can enjoy. Maybe it won't be good at first, but if we stick with it, we can enjoy it week to week and have fun, and then get to the point where we could probably be really hyped up about it and enjoy it and have good discussions along the way. It'll be a good ride.
Yeah.
And then there's Tokyo Revengers and all the things at the bottom. And then, but whenever we're saying like, we want something to like really grab us, we say things like Heavenly Delusion and Vinland Saga Season 2, Free Ren, and fucking Promised Neverland Season 1 is like usually the first in that thing. Because when we watch Promised Neverland Season 1, we were at the point where we were watching like a few shows every day. We'd watch like ReZero and Naruto and, be like in a rhythm with shows. This was the first one where
it caught us off guard.
It caught us off guard, and we finished it in less than a week. which is not normal for us, as you could see with Apothecary, even with shows we really love. It's not common for us with the way that we consume things for the channel, since we have to consume so many shows and discuss them kind of in an in-depth, somewhat way. It's not common for us to like binge through and like, oh, you need to watch a Naruto or we need to watch a One Piece for today. Should we do that, or should we just watch 5 more fucking Promised Neverland season 1s? That's like, it doesn't really happen that often. And this was the first time it really happened, and it's history. Like, it's some of our best reactions ever.
Yeah.
100%. And great predictions, great, everything about it was good.
Especially early on for a show to catch you so off guard.
Yeah.
As, like, at the time we were watching a lot of shows that you had already seen before, if they were really high quality, or a lot of things like Gleipnir that were a little bit more mid that we both hadn't seen. So this was able to catch you off guard, which was something that we hadn't had. And now we have season 2. And I don't know that we need to go into this one too much.
Everyone knows the story.
Everyone knows.
A story as old as 2021 or 2020 or whatever it was.
I don't know if it's F tier or, like, low E tier. Because I feel like we wanted to like it. We were, like, decently positive. We didn't just hate it. We didn't just have no reaction.
Well,
you know?
Here's the thing is, the show is remembered worse than I think our reactions were to it. Because everyone... The show is characterized by everyone's experience of the manga, and that's totally fair, because they did fuck it up. But I've talked about this every time we talk about Promised Neverland. The reason I liked Season 1 was because Season 1 was a complete, like, Prison Break style story with characters that were genuinely well thought out and deep, and reveals that were foreshadowed properly. And the world was set up in a way where I was intrigued by what was outside of it. But, like... What was wrong with Season 2 wasn't that they really changed the point of the story. It was that they removed so much of the connective tissue and the journey of it. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I think that they fucked up big time, but we didn't know how much they fucked up as far as our reactions to it. We didn't know how much they fucked up. We were just going by what they were presenting and knowing that they were probably fucking it up. But I remember even at the time, we're like, why does everyone care so much about all this stuff? Like, does really, like, at least in the first few episodes, it became egregious and terrible once the closer you get to the end.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to see a true version of this to really compare it. But the story out once they, like, if you talk about, from what I understand about the manga, the story of Season 1's content and then everything after, it's such a divide that if you liked what I liked about Season 1 and saw it the way that I saw it, I don't think I would be as down. Like, I'm not as excited to find out what's outside. I'm not as excited to find out everything else. I was excited about the drama that was unfolding in that moment. So that's what I really liked about it. I liked it in, like, despite everything else that came after, without even any knowledge of it. But, you know, so I think that if we were manga readers, we probably would hate the show a lot more, and we would have hated it a lot more if we had read the manga, like, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as our reactions to it and making the videos, I don't think that they were as bad, like, you know, on a scale from, like, oh, Season 1's up here, and then Season 2 is all the way down here. It's for, like, Season 1's really up here, like, way up here. Season 2 is, like, kind of in the middle. It's like a D, you know, or something. Like, I think that it might, you know, like, our reactions is like and our discussions. A good reaction
to a bad show.
Yeah.
Which is maybe similar to Boruto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say better than Hell's Paradise.
Yeah.
Better than Boruto. I think our reactions to this and our discussions to this, because like, while they changed a lot of things, a lot of the events that happened were, while not the same from what I understand, they touched on the same themes and the same conflicts. So, like, the story that was unfolding in our discussions, reflecting on the decisions of the characters, like, you know, with a lot of the subtler details removed. I feel like we actually discussed what was going on and had a decent nuanced discussion of that. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've been trying to kind of space out, like, some of the really iconic ones that I know people want to see, and I know that everyone...
We aren't going to get to all these in one stream. We're going to have to do this probably next week.
Yeah. Everyone
if we can. I don't know if we can next week.
to see ReZero Season 1 and Season 2. We'll go with Season 1 first.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
ReZero Season 1.
Again, look how bright your thumbnails are. You can't even see our faces. It's so bright and colorful.
Anyone criticizes my way
I can't
of life,
see that.
I would kill everyone in their family. And if anyone
is that a...
criticizes my way of life, I would kill everyone in their family. And if anyone criticizes...
What? Where? Oh, no! It was away. Shit.
Damn it!
Damn it! What was that? Somebody type what that was. It was a discussion. How much? Or a donation. What was that? Sasuke? Wait, who was that? Who donated? I didn't see that.
No!
Oh, I can't even check on this computer.
Damn it.
I know it didn't show on screen. It's the Mac, what did you say? And how much did you donate? I literally can't check. It's all ReZero's fault, these motherfuckers. What'd you say? I need to know before we move on. It's visible now, but it's, you know, I can't redo it or anything. Damn it. Meme Planet! Mac, you tell me what you said right now. You're holding up the stream. People want to hear us shit on ReZero. What was that? That's our donation sound. It's me imitating Sasuke. Happy 5th year. I'm going to sleep soon, so I've asked before. Which tier would you put SAO opening reaction? Say it, Carson, say it. I mean, that's like F-. That is like... That's a Z tier. Yeah. That's a Z tier reaction. That's literally our worst video.
Purposefully sabotaging the video for no reason. By just being...
and getting details wrong, like saying like Lisa did all the...
inflammatory, like...
yeah.
Just
rage bait.
Yeah, and I remember sitting there being like, Carson must know what he's doing to be making all of these statements. We trust you. Make Carson watch a horror movie for Halloween this year. Don't let him escape this time. I really want to do that. Maybe watch ReZero Season 2 as the horror movie this year.
Read the PD too? Oh. Lindsay, we trust you. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you just read that. Yeah. Thank you, Mac, for the donation. I don't know how much it was, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Yeah, just hating and being dumb. It was the best decision I've ever made, because to private it, because every once in a while, you know, on the YouTube app, you refresh it. If you go to there's like a comments tab, like you would go to a notifications tab. Mm-hmm. Like there's a notifications tab, but then there's a comments tab where you can see the most recent comment across all of your videos, and everyone's listed. Usually it'll be all comments on all the videos you posted that day or most recently, and that's because most people are seeing that. But you can also see like a video you posted 5 years ago, and somebody will comment. At least once every 2 weeks or so, we would get a new comment on that video saying like, oh, I liked Carson, but like he's just being dumb here, or like whatever. And then there were a few times where I would ban people because they'd go a little bit too far. But eventually, I had this self-reflective moment where I'm just like, I think I am just being a fucking asshole. Like, why am I being this way? And then I was like, you know, I'm just privating this video. The Uncut's on Patreon, I think. You can go see it if you want to see me be a cunt for no reason. But yeah, so that's gone. So that's our worst video, I think. That
is. Especially since, like, it was the worst, because, like, in videos where I was being shitty, I wasn't trying to be that way on purpose. You were just purposefully, being dumb.
I was just being myself, and I was in a hater mood that day, I think, and, the other thing is also that Sword Art Online, if you don't know, as I've said, I'm a Berserk fan. This is a lot of the making fun of it. Is that Sword Art Online, it's not just that they call him the Black Swordsman, that's one piece of a much larger, obvious ripoff of Berserk that the writer, the author of Sword Art Online does. It goes deep, and if you really pay attention and compare the two, Sword Art Online is straight up a teenage ripoff of Berserk. So... I was making fun of that in the opening reactions, but I went too far, and I was just being dumb. So, yeah, anyway. Regardless. One Piece, I don't know if we're doing One Piece. You've never heard this? If you have seen Berserk, and you go back and rewatch the Aincrad arc specifically, well, season 1 is Sword Art Online, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. If you, I should make a full-on comparison, but at this point, well, actually, there's probably more Berserk fans than Sword Art Online fans now. Back in the day, even like before 2020 when this video was made, there were, Sword Art Online was far more popular than Berserk. These days it's probably different, but anyway. Okay. The openings definitely don't deserve the hate. Well, the thing is, I didn't know if we were going to react to it. So all I was doing was just taking the opportunity while we were on the topic of Sword Art Online to just be kind of, just make fun of it. And just be kind of a dick, just mostly playfully, but also like seriously talking about my things. And it just wasn't the time or place to do that. And also, I was just ruining Lindsay's reaction in that case. So it's like, it was just a bad video. It was just really bad video. Never saw Berserk, loved SAO. Well, if you want a darker Sword Art Online that's not a isekai, but is an actual fantasy, you'll probably love Berserk. We're talking about our Sword Art Online opening reactions. Well, guys, what do you, why do y'all in particular go gaga over this Apothecary show? I am now thinking about watching it when I have time. Because it's really, really good. It has really strong characters and plot twists. But it's not like action-y or like plot. It's not like Attack on Titan plot twist where it's like really in your face. There's a lot to think about, and there's a lot of opportunity to guess what's going on before it's revealed, and things are revealed kind of like step by step over time. And if you're really, and it uses real life chemistry and like logic most of the time. So it's like a detective show basically, but it's a detective show about chemistry set in feudal China, Imperial China, like a fake version of it, but basically. And the main character is really smart in some ways, really dumb in other ways, and relatable in some ways, really interesting. And it's the kind of show, it's like how sometimes if you heard me talk about, you know, a good shonen is like Hunter x Hunter.
We might as well do this now since you're talking about it.
Oh, Apothecary, sure.
And then we'll do ReZero.
Then we'll do ReZero. It's Apothecary is similar to like a good shonen, where a good shonen with a strong power system, like Hunter x Hunter, will set things up so that you can be in the fight with the character. So like, you know, when they do something, you can guess what they're gonna do if you know all their powers. And then it's almost like you're playing as the character in the fight, because you know, oh, the character has these abilities work this way in the world. If he's up against this kind of an opponent, what I would do as the viewer, if I were in this character's shoes, is I would use this attack, and then I could, you know, gauge a reaction or do something like that, and you can kind of get into that. That's how Apothecary Diaries is, because that's like a good shonen, is being able to anticipate things like that. That's how Apothecary Diaries is with its mysteries, and it strikes a good balance. I've been talking about this a lot recently, between anticipation and mystery, because there's two halves of the same thing. Mysteries aren't always about just, you know, as a writer, any writer can just like bombard you with a bunch of details about their fictional bullshit world that doesn't exist, and then bamboozle you with something that you didn't expect because you either didn't have all the information or you just got information overload and there's no way to connect it. You know, if I'm a writer and I want to be mysterious and I want my mystery to be difficult to guess, I have all the power. So it's about getting as close to telling them without them realizing it. But at a certain point, a mystery stops being a mystery and it starts being an anticipatory reveal. It's more about the audience having figured out the mystery because the author gave them the answer, but the characters don't know yet. And then there's that anticipation. That line in a mystery is something that not all mysteries get right, and the anticipation is often better than the actual mystery itself. Apothecary excels at that, on top of great characters, on top of a relatable world, being that it's like more real life. There's not like fantasy elements really. And and relatable characters and really interesting, deep, way deeper than you think psychology and motivations that are far more realistic than you might think on first glance. It's just a great show. It's a 10 out of 10 show, and I think our reactions
yeah, someone
are
said
S-tier.
it, but the style of show I think really suits us as reactors.
Yeah.
Because it's more like, like the like reaction is more like confused or like intrigued rather than like, oh my god, but then sometimes there are still those oh my god moments, and when they happen, it's a genuine reaction. Like if someone gets slapped in the face in a show where everyone's just like sort of behind the scenes, like being polite and formal, or like, you know, kind of sneaking around a bit, it's, you know, the impact is there and we feel it. And it's good. So I would say S.
I would say S. I'd say above Dandadan.
I would say above Dandadan, not above anything else though, because it doesn't have
I'd say
the
low
emotional.
S.
It doesn't have the emotional impact. Yeah, well, I did do season 2 as well. Their season 2's not done.
Yeah.
Right for now, I would say it's like pretty much on par. I think that there was a crazy episode, but there's also been a lot of like, not medium as in bad episodes, just on par for the show.
But what about our reactions to
our
it?
reactions?
Like the videos we made. Because that's what we're ranking. We're not ranking the show.
I feel like our reactions so far to season 1 were maybe better, but only because of the development over the course of the whole season.
Yeah, because it's not finished.
This has the ability to surpass, but for now, I would say it is very slightly below.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say lower S.
Yeah.
Lower S, but still up there. It's still one of our best series, I think.
Yeah.
Where? There. Right there is where we'll put season 2.
Yeah.
Bam. I wish you could see a little bit. It's a little bit better.
Yeah. I will do a quick recap for those who have just joined. Here we have Big Wolf, our cat.
Our first cat.
Our first cat that we got on our 1-year anniversary stream. He's really wrinkled and slightly deflated, but we got him reblown up. And then here we are ranking not the shows themselves, if you're wondering why certain things, you know, doesn't really make sense why they're in that spot. But we are ranking our reactions to the quality of our reactions to the show. So
our videos, not just the
videos.
reactions themselves.
So in S rank we have Farmland Saga, Vinland Saga Season 2, Promised Neverland Season 1, Run with the Wind, Apothecary Diary Season 1, Dandadan, and Apothecary Diary Season 2. In A tier we have Oshi no Ko Season 1, Horimiya Season 1, and Ranking of Kings Season 1. In B tier we have Jojo Part 2, Sakamoto Days, Jojo Part 4, Oshi no Ko Season 2, God of High School, and Cyberpunk. In C tier we have Gleipnir, Jojo Part 1, and Beastars. D tier we have Promised Neverland Season 2, Boruto, and Hell's Paradise. E tier we have Jojo Part 3 and One Punch Man. And in F tier we have Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, Horimiya Peace, Nobless, and Higurashi
When They Cry.
When They Cry. When We Cry.
When We Cry. JoJo's low. Again, these are not the rankings. This is not our ranking of the quality of the series. This is the quality of the videos that we produced as far as our reaction, our emotion, our level of emotion, our discussion, like how good our insights were, or like how deep of a discussion we got. The mood we were in, or like the vibe that you get from it. Like what, you know, if you go into the playlist for these shows, will you find a lot of good videos or mostly shit videos? And you know, if S tier is like all the shows in there had a significant effect like on our life, and that kind of came through, as well as having good discussions on a higher level than normal. Like for, you know, because we talk about things like in depth as much as we can, but like having a lot to say and then having a lot of important and interesting things to say, that's kind of the difference. you know, that's the level where S tier is. And then F tier is like, we straight up didn't finish these shows. And didn't like them. Like, we finished Scott Pilgrim Takes Off technically on Patreon, but we just didn't really like it, didn't have a good reaction. If you were to watch it, you'd probably be wasting your time, genuinely.
And each year we have, like...
There's some gems in there.
But, like, they're not really that great.
Yeah, like, you could find a few good videos in those playlists, 1 or 2, or a few more, like, part 3, there's probably, I don't know, like 10 probably good reactions in there, but it's like 50 or 60 episodes, and of videos of that, so it'd be difficult to find all that. So that's kind of where the tier lists are. But now we're getting into a very interesting discussion, I'm sure. ReZero Seasons 1 and Season 2. It's the first half of Season 2 is where we stopped.
And this is interesting because I think that Season 1, we had good reactions to. You had already seen it. I hadn't seen it, but you were excited to try it again. I was into it. There was a few things that we were kind of like, you know, Subaru was kind of annoying at some parts. But overall, I think that we liked it. I think that we had a good reaction, and I think that we had semi-decent reviews. Like, were they our best videos? No. Did we have fun and make a decent video? Yeah.
I think there were some of our, like, the Season 1 reactions to ReZero were some of our best reactions.
Yeah, especially early on.
Episode 18,
we were having fun. Yeah.
I had already seen it. Episode 18, the reaction, hearing the English voice actor, because we watched dub for Season 1, and switching from dub to sub may have impacted our enjoyment of Season 2, because it was just a different vibe on top of all the problems that we had with the first half of Season 2, which I think are genuine, for the most part, at least. It's been 5 years, but, you know, anyway. Regardless, reactions to Season 1, for Episode 18, I, literally was so blown away and, depressed and genuinely touched by Episode 18 and Subaru's whole, monologue that he has about how he's, worthless and shit like that. I don't know, it really hit, and I think it's another one of those things where I think I was in the right place for it to hit, because COVID just started. If you don't know anything about me, I was going to film school before COVID, and it was a big new fresh start for my life. And then COVID hit, and then it was all thrown into question, and I was not even sure if I was going to be able to continue. And then, so I was really depressed about that, really worried about whether me and Lindsay would have to split up, because I would have to move back home, and, you know, we might not have been able to afford our place if YouTube didn't pick up. And we were just doing YouTube mostly for fun at that point. Mm-hmm. Trying to make it something, obviously, but, it was still really early. But anyway, it was one of those things where I was very in the right place to be affected by a show. And ReZero Season 1 reactions, I think, were genuinely really good. Yeah. To the point where 5 years later, we still get comments saying, why didn't they finish ReZero? Why did they stop?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that, I guess, but
I'd say that's an A tier.
I'd put Season 1 ReZero in A tier, easy A tier.
I would put it higher than these two, I think.
Yeah. We were more. I might put it higher than Oshi no Ko. Again, our whole experience is characterized by our experience with Season 2, but we loved Season 1. We had a great time with Season 1. It really affected us genuinely, and it's something that we still think and talk about. But we think about it a lot more negatively because of what came after.
What was the most disappointing thing about ReZero and Season 2 is that because we loved Season 1, because this was the first show, it was around this time. So when we first started our channel, we decided, we were going to do Naruto and then seasonals, right? Yeah. That was the strategy. Upon some of the seasonals, such as Gleipnir, Tower of God, not being that fantastic, we decided, in our infinite wisdom, and it could have been a good idea, let's, instead of watching so many seasonals, let's watch less seasonals and just binge something like ReZero. Yeah.
I know is good, that I knew you would like, yeah.
But it was maybe Promised Neverland around us so much, but early on, the shows that we watched that were semi-current but not currently airing, our whole plan was we are gonna get ahead on these, especially with shows that had Season 2s coming out. like Promised Neverland and like ReZero, we thought, let's catch up on them and let's, just binge and do less seasonals, and then we can, watch in big batches and not be like watching, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We thought it would be more effective. The problem with that is once season 2 rolled around and it was coming out, we had prepared, we watched season 1, we binged it, we like posted it all like every day or like twice a day. We were like triple posting. It was insane. We get to season 2 and it's like the fucking brakes.
Yeah.
It's like
slam on the brakes.
It's like the brakes get slammed on, we weren't wearing our seatbelts, we go flying out of the car, and then someone else, the commenters that are hating on us, run us over. Like,
yeah.
we fly out of the car onto like a 10-lane highway and just get like absolutely eviscerated, to the point that we got so depressed that we like almost like couldn't even, like every day we were just like having a breakdown.
Lindsay would like break out crying when we would hit up publish.
Yeah, we would
for these episodes
in preparation.
And around this time during season 2 was around the time that I nearly had a heart attack from stress and doing YouTube constantly and like not getting good sleep and drinking too much caffeine and not managing my medication properly. I had to go to the hospital because I nearly had a heart attack. Not a full-on heart attack, but like I had really bad heart palpitations. I had to go to the emergency room at like 3 a.m. I think it was actually just after we recorded the Sakura versus Sorcery fight. We like binged that night, and you could see me. It's where you know that, I don't know, the old ones will know, but where I was like dabbing to the Naruto intro, and it said like sleep deprivation gang or something like that in that episode. That was hours before I was in the emergency room until like 5 a.m. With like heart palpitations, or longer anyway. So, but a lot of that stress was brought on because of everything going on with COVID at the time. But, and like whether or not I would go back to film school. And it was like in September when I decided to go back to film school online at the time. And I paid my tuition, which was like way too much money, like tens of thousands of dollars for online film school. Did the first 2 weeks, and you could get an 80% refund. And then I was in that period of time, and that's when all this shit was coming to a head with ReZero Season 2. And it was at that moment that Lindsay was like hating watching the show because we would criticize the show a little bit or like find some problems, and then people would shit on us, and then we'd like either double down. Like we had some misconceptions about the plot. Obviously, we weren't understanding things 100%. We aren't perfect. But it was
also just.
But it was like it was a whirlwind of a bunch of different shit, and it got to the point where I was like, I can't take this anymore. So if all of the ReZero fans are unable to even engage with us, like, not liking people sitting around.
Yeah, we were trying to be as fair as possible. And
we were trying, and there were times where I was like, you know what, fuck it, I hate this. Like, I think there was one episode in particular where I was just like, this was just bad. This is just a bad episode. And that was, like, the last straw, and then that carried out through the rest of the season, and there were a couple people, like, and then I would argue in the comments. Like, there were a couple people who I would argue with, like, every week, and then I would they would post, like, an essay, and then I would hit them right back with an essay, and then they just wouldn't reply, and it's like... It was a whirlwind of shit, so it's not even necessarily the show's fault that we were going through all of this, but it's actually not the show's fault. I think if we binge season 2 like we did season 1, all those slow things, especially if you, like, here's the thing, think about One Piece now, and all the shit that we've had to, like, just, 5 episodes are bad in a row. Well, we're not just gonna shit on them the whole time, because otherwise, what's the point of that? Mm-hmm. Just move on.
Well, here's the thing.
If we took that energy into ReZero, and maybe we get back into it, but the views for season 3, I think, were kind of shit. Like, people aren't... This show is like 10 years old at this point or something, almost. Anyway, all that to say, are the videos good for our reactions to ReZero season 2? I think better than Boruto. Probably around Promised Neverland Season 2. D tier, high D tier.
Yeah. Because
all things considered.
Especially, like, I don't think... We were trying to make the videos as good as possible.
Yeah.
So that people would stop harassing us for saying that then, like, sitting in a chair for 5 episodes straight was it not that interesting, you know? But we were trying to be as fair as possible. This is interesting because I think in terms of the show is probably also a D tier. It could be higher. Maybe it got better. We didn't see from what I saw. The overall, like, maybe the story was slightly better. The production was terrible. The direction was terrible.
Yeah, the direction was genuinely bad.
The direction was terribly...
And that was a lot of our main points. It's just, like, they're just standing in a field talking to each other.
It was like, I feel like I can't even enjoy the story because the show is, like, sabotaging the story. But anyway, my emotional reaction to the mention of ReZero Season 2 is, like the worst than any of that.
But again, it's not. It's more to do with us than it is actually with the show at this point. I think that, like, if we were to be mature and try to look at it with new eyes, especially with, like, again, in a post One Piece BOLDcast era, it's we have a different level of standard for just enjoying something. Mm-hmm. We aren't, and also I've recently, this is like. Maybe we'll... That's actually a great place to end off this stream. I think we do this next week if we have time. We're going away for Easter weekend to visit my family, so we'll be, like, out, and it's going to be a problem. I want to do this next week. We've already been going for, like, 2.5 or about 2 hours. We have, like, way more. There's, like, I don't know if you can see the pile of fucking thumbnails that are here. We have way too much here.
We haven't even done half.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was gonna say was, I think we should try to do it next week.
I think so.
We have to try to do it next week because, like, we keep trying to say that with, like, other streams, and we want this to be, like, a new chapter and everything, and, like, actually do it. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna leave this up, all the whole setup here, and we'll just do it
right away.
We can't do it on Saturdays because we got D&D on Saturdays. But
we'll figure out a time to do it, and
Big Will's excited about that.
We'll do it soon. As soon as we can, and even if we don't get, like, I think that a lot of these other ones maybe we'll be able to get through a little bit faster. We did some, like, more controversial ones that needed some explaining.
I think, like, ending it off with ReZero and then this note that I want to leave it off with right here. Thank you guys for 5 years of BOLDcast. Ewan Polgar, I wrote both of you a DM for your mental health in that time, saying this is as a ReZero fan. I really like your... Oh, I remember that! I remember that DM. It was on Patreon, I believe. Maybe Instagram, but pretty sure it was on Patreon. But it was rough for you both. Was a good decision to drop it at the time. I agree. I think there is a chance that we could revisit it if people really want us to. I think it would be a good way to, like, usher in a new half a decade of BOLDcast.
Thought about it, especially doing it as a Patreon exclusive, just so that the hate comments are just not a consideration. It's just, we've been trying so hard to catch up.
We do not post D&D.
So many things. So yeah, thank you for that, and thank you for the DM
Ewan
back
Polgar.
in the day.
Ewan Polgar, by the way, classic BOLDcast viewer. A lot of you guys are classic BOLDcast viewers, but I see a lot of new people. Ewan Polgar, literally one of our first patrons ever. If you go back and look at our early Naruto reactions and reactions of, like, the earlier shows that we talked about here, and we did the, like, classic thing that YouTubers do sometimes where they read out their patrons. Mm-hmm. His name's literally on that list. So W. Ewan Polgar. Thank you for chilling with it. Thank you to all of you guys for chilling with us for this long. It's like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And it's literally unbelievable. I've been thinking about it a lot recently with YouTube and how lucky we are. Mm-hmm. It's like, especially, it's a lot easier to appreciate right now because we've done a lot to try, we're doing a lot right now to try and put ourselves in a better headspace for enjoying things, and it's like we've done it's been a journey over the last 5 years. We've talked about it basically every stream we've done when we did streams all the time. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dark Shadow, for the $5 as well. YouTube looking for another great year, and maybe Gintama. I've been thinking about that too, but no promises. But yeah, I've been thinking about that more and more. I want to do Gintama because I've been thinking about that more and more. I have something that I want to say, but we'll talk about Gintama. There's a lot of series like that I've wanted to do for a long time that we just never have, and we never will unless we just do them. Like we gotta be in a better place with the channel to where we're not getting, like, 2,000 views on fucking Lazarus and shit like that. But, like, you know, we gotta set ourselves up for success. But once we do that, we really just gotta do, like, Monster or Gintama or one of those fucking shows. Like, there's a bunch of things like that, like, You know? Like, something like that. Anyway. That's because look at us. This is the 5th year anniversary stream. We still haven't done Gintama. We still haven't, like, you know, like, there's a bunch of things like that we've been talking about. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I wanted to do more Vito.
Haikyuu movie.
Haikyuu movie. I wanted to do Steins Gate. I wanted to do Gurren Lagann. I wanted to do Kill la Kill. I wanted to do... There's, like, 50 shows I wanted to do. And wanted to show Lindsay. That was, like, why we started, is I wanted to show her Naruto. And that's why we started the channel. 5 years later, we still haven't done all these other shows that were, like, foundational to my life. Evangelion, we do really want to finish Evangelion. We're gonna finish the last 3 episodes of Baccano before we do that, but we're back. We haven't posted a schedule on YouTube, but we've gotten to the point. We made a schedule for what we're gonna watch and what we're gonna post this week, and we've kept to it this week. We're gonna keep that going for a couple more weeks. Plan out at the top of the week what we need to watch each day, because now I'm going to the gym. Lindsay's got her, like, a full life going on outside of YouTube, and, like, we have a lot more going on than we did in 2020 when it was just we live and breathed anime and YouTube all the time.
And then we burn ourselves out.
Just
sitting, staring at the computer all day.
We have a lot more of a balance now. We want to keep that balance, but we don't want to post another schedule because we tried that. We posted a schedule, and then we just don't keep to it. And then we stop, and then everyone's disappointed, and we want you, back in the day, what we did was, when we posted a schedule, we'd keep to it no matter what. If I had to stay up till 7 in the morning to edit an OP reaction because that was going up the next day, I would, and I did. I can't do that anymore because I have things I want to do with my life. And that's what I wanted to end this off with. If you've noticed, we've been trying to be more positive, and I feel like we were hesitant towards accepting things as they are. Thank you, Super Neo King. Thank you for the stream. Can you possibly share a close-up of the board? Yes, we will. I'll do that right before we turn off the stream. But I just want to get through this. But thank you for the super chat.
We can also make a community post showing
we'll do that as well.
Status.
If you've noticed recently, we've tried to be a lot more positive in our reactions in our videos, and tried to just not be as pointlessly critical and negative all the time. And that's like I said, that's a journey we've been trying to approach for a long time, but it always felt like we were lying, or that we were not being true and not giving a real honest reaction, and that's always something that we were hesitant about. But what I realized, because I thought about this in February, because we just finished the big episode in Marineford. No spoilers, and I don't want to talk about One Piece, but this is part of this story that I wanted to leave this off of, since this is the 5-year anniversary stream. We finished the big episode in One Piece that everyone was waiting for. And I was driving home from the gym, and we were really hyped up because we had a great reaction. We had a great discussion. It was our biggest month at that point. March ended up being bigger, but it was our biggest month ever for Patreon by, like, triple. Like, it was insane, and everyone was hyped up. Everyone was loving the videos, and we just made the best video. And I had this moment, and we're coming up on 5 years, and I'm not gonna say my exact age or my birth date or anything, but, like, I'm pushing 30, and you know, I had a lot of goals that I wanted to hit before I was 30. And, you know, we're reaching a lot of milestones. I'm getting older, and I just kind of realized, like, looking back at Naruto Shippuden, we were doing that when we reached, like, the Madara era of Naruto Shippuden, like the war arc, we were, like, super high. We were like, oh yeah, this is so great. The channel just keeps growing. And then we took a fucking nosedive after Naruto completed. And now look at us. We're on the rise again. And we're the biggest we've ever been because of One Piece. And we know how this story goes. It's going to go right back down after. Are we going to have a third one with the way that we've been going? If we don't change anything, if we just keep being super negative and pointlessly critical and putting all of our creative energy into this, like into breaking down things so that we can learn from them. You know, like, is that worth it? Like, are we gonna have another comeback if we keep going this way? Are we gonna be here 5 years from now? Are we gonna, you know, all these questions are, and it's like a quarter life crisis thing as I'm entering a different stage of my life. But it's like, I had all these thoughts, and it was all kind of swirling, and so it's a good time to talk about this now. But I realized that I don't want to spend the rest of my YouTube career or whatever it is left of it after, you know, I don't know what the future holds. I hope that it's another, I hope it's 100 years of BOLDcast ahead of us. 100 years, Morty. Anyway, I hope that there's I want it to be a long road ahead, but it's not going to be that way if we're just going to be tearing things down all the time. And I don't want to, because initially the reason that I wanted to critique things and break series down was because I was learning from it as a writer. We would watch something, I would take it in, and then I would break down what I liked or disliked about it so that I could use it in my own writing. Well, I was putting my face down or putting my head down and just focusing on YouTube for the last 5 years. And I've hardly written a single thing. So why was I being so critical then? If it was all for me to create something and then I just didn't? You know, is that how it's going to be? My goal in my early 20s was I would have a book or a script done by the time I turned 30, and it would be published or sold or whatever. I would accomplish that, and that was my goal. And I'll have time until I'm 30. That's a long time. Well, look at me now. I'm staring down the barrel, and I haven't done shit. All I've done is break down other people's stories with the intent, supposedly, of making something myself, and I haven't. So I decided I'm not gonna pull my punches on shows that I dislike, but I decided I don't, rather than spend, you only have a certain amount of creative energy in you. Mm-hmm. I don't want to spend all of my creative energy for the rest of my life focusing on everyone else's shit, whether I like it or not. If I love something, I will. But I don't want to do that anymore, because it's also not what people want anymore.
It's also, I think, what we were talking about.
So what I'm saying is, to cap it off, I want to put that creative energy in a more positive direction, and I think that it's just going to make the videos better. Yeah. And I think we're entering a new age, and I don't think we're losing anything, because I'm still going to be, same guy who just is a hater for fun sometimes. I'm the guy who's a hater for fun. I'm One Punch Man of shitting on anime. But anyway, I want to spend that creative energy wisely. And I guess maybe if that applies to you somehow, maybe you could take that into consideration as well. If there's anything that you feel like you're wasting your creative energy on and you maybe don't need to, and maybe what you're wasting that energy on, maybe if you spent a little bit less energy on it, it might grow a little bit better. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where I'm at. So that's how I want to approach this. And I think it'll be better for the channel. I think that it'll be better for the community and around it. It'll make for way better videos. And maybe I'll actually be able to write the things that I wanted to write instead. Mm-hmm. So anyway. Chris is about to drop the hottest red pill book of the 2020s.
Yeah, I think...
a little late to that one, I think.
I think, just to kind of add on to that, I think for, my YouTube journey, I think, at first I didn't really know what to say. And then I see, and like you were saying earlier, is in a lot of our earlier videos, it seemed like in order to justify the content, we had to, absolutely eviscerate the content and just...
Until there was nothing left.
Until there was nothing left. Good or bad, but mostly bad. Mostly, even if it was good, we would find something bad. And, I had never watched reactions. I didn't know. I was like, okay, I guess this is what, intellectual reactors would do. And because we're not, screaming at the show. So, our, if we're just going to be, sitting there with a more subtle reaction, we really need to,
make it count in another way,
contribute something. Even if that something's negative. And now I feel like we're finding, we're still contributing. Our apothecaries, for example.
Yeah.
We have been discussing at length, even in One Piece lately, we kept saying, oh, maybe for One Piece we won't worry too much about the discussions. We'll just go with the flow. We end up having, hour-long discussions every few videos.
Yeah.
But it's positive. It's because we're excited, and it's way better to talk for an hour about something you're excited about than talking for an hour about something that you're frustrated with, And I don't think that it's, we're not going to be lying and saying that we are not frustrated with something when we are, but it's just the different things that you spend your time and energy on. And you can watch way more of something if you're focusing on the good things instead of trying to find something to complain about, you know?
Yeah. And I think this is, it's kind of funny how everything times up, because in One Piece we're entering the new era, the new Great Pirate era, and I feel like it's the new BOLDcast era, hopefully. I watched Sunny Boy, I watched the first episode, I was like, I didn't continue it, but...
Oh yeah, I was wondering when someone was gonna do the old cast or
whatever. Old cast. Yeah. Yeah, dang, I'm in my early 20s and I want to write books. Should I start a YouTube channel? No, you should write the fucking books! That's what you should do.
That's what you need to take from this.
And that's the thing is, I don't think, I don't think this pile here was wasted time, obviously. Like, it paid our bills and hopefully paid. I keep talking about it in past tense and I don't want, it's not over. I'm like, wait, don't change the channel. Like, it's not past tense. It's like, it's, you know, it wasn't like it's looking back on the last 5 years, we didn't like waste our time. We were doing something that we enjoyed and I've always wanted to be a YouTuber, even before I wanted to like pursue writing or something or creating in some way. I wanted to be a YouTuber since before YouTube was created. So I was like 8 years old or something like that. And like, yeah, I don't know. I want to spend the energy wisely, and I want to, yeah, you only have, that's it. Bye, BOLDcast. Okay, you're saying goodbye. All right, bye, guys. Turn off the stream. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's it. I'm meandering now, but it's like, I can do both. You can do both, but you can't do both if you don't leave anything for yourself. And if you're not, because at a certain point, if you want to write something, it is good to break down the things that you like and find out why you like them, really. Not just like, oh, I like that they killed their characters. It's like, but why do they kill the characters? Like, to create tension, there's a million ways to create tension. Like, you know, people jump to the most obvious thing when analyzing something. Like, it's valuable to break things down. It's valuable to give criticism and analyze and sort of think about things in an interesting way. But only if you're actually going to use that knowledge. Otherwise, what's the point? Why even break it down at all? Why don't you just enjoy it? You know? Mm-hmm. So anyway, there you go.
Yeah. Should we wrap it up with a final tally of everything?
Yes, I will zoom in on the camera and then we will close it up. Oh, I slam on the keyboard. Everyone say goodbye to Big Will.
Goodbye, Big Will.
Okay, let me loosen it up. Hopefully the camera cord doesn't fall out. I gotta be careful. Wait, let's start at the bottom.
Okay. In F tier, we have...
Is it still on the screen? I can't see.
Yeah. We have Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, Horimiya Peace, Nobless, and Higurashi When We Cry. And then move it up slightly. In E tier, we have Jojo Part 3 and One Punch Man. For anyone confused, we're ranking our reactions, not the show itself. I had a really bad reaction to both of these shows because I was just not in the mood for it. If we move up slightly and zoom out a little bit.
No, I'll
there, okay. We have Promised Neverland Season 2, ReZero Season 2, Boruto, and Hell's Paradise. Up above that, we have Gleipnir, Jojo Part 1, and
C tier.
In C tier is Gleipnir, Jojo Part 1, and Beastars. In B tier, we have Jojo Part 2, Sakamoto Days, Jojo Part 4, Oshi Season 2, God of High School, and Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Up above that, in A tier, we have, probably surprising to some people, ReZero Season 1, Oshi Season 1, Horimiya Season 1, and Ranking of Kings. And finally, it is kind of nice to know that, like, I mean, B and S are tied right now, but I feel like that's pretty good. We have Vinland Saga Season 2, Promised Neverland Season 1, Run with the Wind, and Apothecary Diaries Season 1, as well as Dandadan and Apothecary Diaries Season 2. This one is obviously not done, so, you know, it could change later on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there you go. So, we are going to continue this next week. We'll schedule the stream for next week, and I say that all the time, or we will say that every time we finish a stream.
I feel like this is a little bit less.
We would just, if it was like an hour left, we would just continue. But there's at least another 3-hour stream here. So, yeah.
And honestly, I feel like sometimes when we do
we will do it next week.
When we do gaming streams, it always seems like I feel like it takes a lot out of me. I feel like it's a lot easier to do. Was easier and doesn't take a lot out of me. It's, you know, we still look at the screen here, but you're not just like, you know, I don't know. It was nice. It was refreshing. It felt nice to sort of be nostalgic and see some, you know, old viewers in the chat. So it was really nice.
Yeah. Bob Mike Joe, the stream next week is real and true. Surely. Okay. The stream next week is real!
See you guys next year. If you wanna tune in, we'll be doing things such as Naruto, Fruits Basket, Jujutsu, Demon Slayer, Angel Beats, Kaguya. There's a lot of Haikyuu. There's a lot of really good stuff. So yeah, we will be doing that as soon as possible.
Yes.
I hope you guys all enjoyed. This was
thank you, Dark, for more gifted. Holy shit, man.
Thank you. This was kind of an interesting idea. We hope that you guys like it.
I think it was way more interesting even than I thought. I thought it was just gonna be kind of memey, or we would get way too stuck on one or two things. But it was really a good way for like a retrospective. I'm glad we ended up doing a lot of older picks.
Yeah, and some new ones. Like I
and
feel like
a couple new
we
ones.
got
Yeah.
a decent mix.
And there's still like seriously, we're not even halfway done. Like there's so many more shows to get to. We haven't done Mob Psycho. We haven't done. Yeah, like
Erased,
Konosuba,
Konosuba.
Kaguya seasons, and some live action. We got Last of Us and House of the Dragon, Fruits Basket, One Piece, yeah,
so many.
Jujutsu,
But I still feel like these are also classic. Yeah, I don't know. I feel
and
like
we split. Fun. By the way, I could see you split Jujutsu. If you guys want to hear the Jujutsu one, because that'll be a good topic to talk about. There's Jujutsu Season 1, and then Hidden Inventory.
And then Season 2.
And then Season 2. Mm-hmm. Not the movie, because we watched the movie in theaters, even though we did like a little bit of it on the stream that one time.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah. Free Run, Bunny Girl.
Day Became a God. Clannad, Angel Beats, Evangelion.
So many. Charlotte.
Charlotte.
So many good ones.
Invincible.
And these, like, it seems
Korra.
like... Yeah, I can't believe it's amazing how many we've done, because when I look at these, I'm like...
Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah, if you want to see Tokyo Revengers.
This, you gotta tune in to fucking next week for this one.
rank.
To cap off the S-tier. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
I think these actually will be higher than you think. Find out next week.
Yeah, it might, we'll see.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for 5 years. Here's to 5 more. See you guys for sure next week.
Yep. We've never lied before.
We've never lied about a stream before. Okay. Oh, and if you're just here, I don't even know if there's any people here. Fan letter reaction midnight tonight on Patreon, and coming to YouTube soon. But our One Piece fan letter will be on our Patreon. Okay. Thank you guys. Like the stream, please, and thank you. Holy shit, Mankei Martinez.
Damn. Thank you. Wow. Holy. I love the
God
train.
Damn. Oh, to close it out.
If you guys weren't there,
thank you so much for the 50
Thomas,
gifted. Holy moly.
The tank engine looks like Carson.
Okay. All right. Have a good day, everybody. See you later.
Bye-bye.